Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Tonight, the top drivers in the Full-Length Cup Challenge look to see who will kiss the bricks at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tonight, it's one of the crown jewels here on Maconi Entertainment for the FLCC, because this evening we get set for the Brickyard 400 once again from Speedway, Indiana. Welcome to tonight's coverage. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside the booth tonight is Kirk Mills with Morgan Cook as our producer, as we're just about set to find out who's going to be able to conquer Indianapolis Motor Speedway and come up on top of the yard of bricks. Indy, an interesting track with its history to say the least. Racing for more than 100 plus years now, Kirk. Tonight's going to be an interesting one, though, with this car.
Absolutely right. The biggest news of the night is going to be the amount of horsepower these guys are having. You know, normally we'd go out there and run a regular iRacing set, a regular iRacing, format, but not this series. The Full-Length Cup Challenge has decided to go out with 110% of what the actual Cup car's horsepower is. So we get extra 10% horsepower for this race. And what's that going to create? More tire wear. You have to take care of your stuff. You're going to see drivers try different strategies. Pit road is going to be that much more important. And believe it or not, tires are going to matter more than fuel. But then again, it's a big mystery. We really don't know how this is going to look. We've never done it with 36 cars, and it looks like that's what we got here tonight. 36 cars out right now getting ready to start this thing.
And remember tonight, the points look like this. Sean Conklin still with the more than 600-point advantage to the cut line. Looking to add to his wins after winning an NIS Brickyard 400 last night on iRacing social media platforms. Dylan Basin has been quick as well. However, keep in mind, it's pretty close in the cutoff. Look at how things are shaping up with those around 12th to 18th-ish. It's pretty tight, even if you factor in 19th to 20th. There's no really major safe zone for those eligible for the postseason here.
Yeah, there is no safe zone. If you are from maybe 12th place on back, exactly 12th place on back, you are constantly worried about your points. Because Nolan's pretty safe. 188 to good. You can almost guarantee he'll be fine. But June Salim on down, you can see it's just 21 points from down to Casey Graves to the cut line, and then 18 points from Lim to the cut line. So don't got a lot of room, but here's the big ticket right here. $250 on the line. Got Benefield and Hutchinson going for it.
Both of them look to try and see who comes out on top for their in-season tournament after a couple twists and turns on the way to it. But it's going to come down to who's the best at the end of the night here at the Brickyard to try and win $250 extra. That in mind, qualifying was attached to the session for tonight's festivities. Contrary to much of the races throughout the history of this series, For the first time, all the drivers had their qualifying attached. Here's a look at how they qualified. Dylan Basin and Jonathan Delaney start on the front row tonight, separated by about 54 one-thousandths, ahead of Andrew Dyson. The first of those in the challenge is Adam Benefiel starting in 4th position. Neil Pearson starts in the top 5 with Matthew David Wood in the 6th position. Robert Miller looking to try and keep consistently up at the front tonight. Track position key here, along with Joseph Galata starting in 8th position. There you have one of the drivers making a spot start tonight, Cody B. Johnson. Hunter Truel now in the top 10.
Starting 11th this afternoon will be Alex Murray in the Precision 22 machine alongside Precision teammate Alex Coffey in the 54 machine. Starting in 13th will be Blake Giglio in the 8 car right alongside Nicholas Isaacs in the 2. Starting 15th will be Ralph Hutchinson having to go and try and chase down Benefiel. To the outside will be Lucas Hoytsma in the 97 starting 16th. 17th, Alan Duggar in the 10 alongside Stephen Williams in the 98 for 18th. 19th, Paul Hill in the 26 alongside Cameron Stone in that 57.
21st goes the way of Thomas Komacheski tonight alongside of Bobby Anderson in the 5 machine. That's the 23 Nolan Hodgson with Corey Moore down in 24th tonight. 25th goes the way of Tower Hunter. Casey Graves will start in 26th. 1RC Wraps and Decals machine. Then behind him, Jason S. Taylor and Timothy Harper start alongside each other. The time between Harper and Mesnard in qualifying time. Brandon Hastings rounds out your top 30 in quality.
31st will be Devin Medeiros, Jose Medina 32nd. 33rd this afternoon will be Tanner Marty alongside Sean Conklin, the big story, starting in the back, got to go to the front. 34th. 35th will be Sean O'Brien Jr. in the 65, and then William Owen starting 36 with our final, I believe that is it. So there you go, 36 cars ready to get this thing going. And cars are on the track right now, getting bunched up, getting ready for the restart. It looks like it's just going to be one lap of pace here.
Remember, 3 drivers to the back, Alex Coffey, Cody Johnson, Evan Mesnard with EOLs. We'll have 50, 50, 60 for your distances for the stages, 160 laps. That's about 400 miles tonight. They have a lot of tires to work with here, 9 of them tonight in the Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you know, that's the best news. You got extra sets in the pits, so you're going to use them for sure. But as we head through turn 3, you can see those top 2. You got Basin and Delaney. They're in a great spot. They got clean air, but how long will it last? Will it affect the tires? Lord knows what's going to happen as they start to head through turn 4 in front of this virtual crowd of you lovely folks watching it here live on Maconi Entertainment. Here we go. I'm so pumped. Reach down, pull them belts tight one more time for us here from Indianapolis. So excited. Pace car is going to go ahead and make that dive to the inside right there. And now, going the pace speed. Basin trying to get to that restart area. Look at that flag man. He's going to go ahead and drop that flag. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Off to a good start at the front of the field. Dylan Basin already jumping ahead by a good chunk. Already your 6/10. Side by side to the heart of the field. There is one driver that is cutting their way aggressively through this. Sean Conklin trying to make a 3 wide at turn 2, Kirk, on the opening lap. He's amongst those that has already picked up 8 as we complete lap 1, and a few drivers move out of the way and try and shuffle in line.
32nd to 26 on just one lap. He's going to make his way to the front. It's very hard to pass, but it's also very hard to take care of your tires. So he's got to be careful about his tires, but I'm sure he's dang confident in what his abilities are. He's going to have himself a good run. But up again in the front, they pretty much singled themselves out for the first little while, all the way up until side-by-side battle with Galata and Miller, it looks like, battling for 6th.
See how much Miller's trying to at least use the high line, and this is going to be the interesting thing. You see some of the checkups there with the 2 teammates from SLOW. Galata, though, Looking to attack the Bigfoot machine. Remember, Galata has been good on short tracks for the past couple seasons. Picked up the win last week.
Last slap there, done by Basin just that last time by. And I got to tell you right now, this is going to change throughout the rest of the race too, but because the fall off is going to be the big story. Already lap 1, remember? They just ran their fastest lap of the race just this last time by. We're going to watch over the course of the next. Oh, there goes Jedi Taylor down below the white line back there in the back of the field. Got real loose on the exit of turn 2.
Held on to it though. Keeps it on the racing surface. While a couple others, including Alex Murray, making some passes here. A lot of movement here early on, and keep in mind, calling the NIS Brickyard 400 last night, this was without the 110% power on the cars, mind you. It was actually very difficult to wind up runs to make passes at times, Kirk, with the dirty air. You had to be very exact to make some of the moves up at the front. The 20s were where things were almost a full-on brawl last night for those races.
Well, yeah, when you got a bunch of dirty air all around you, it's so difficult to make any pass. You're all screwing around because you got all that air screwing with your car that it pretty much evens it out. And at that point, you can actually race. But up in the front, yeah, it's difficult to make passes in that form of racing. But I don't know what the 110 is going to do. No one really knows how this is going to work. And so far, the big story is that 17 machine. He started way back in the back of the field, already up to the 20th position, I believe, now up to 19th. He's moving forward, so I say he can pass at least back here in the 20s. Once he gets up to the top 10, that's when the story is going to actually come out, find out if it's going to be something that can continue further.
He's just putting up win after win after win, it feels like, whenever you should say, have anything open-wise to compete in. Conklin, for example, in the officials checked the data on this last night. 19 wins in 22 weeks in NAS. He returns himself. That was dangerous across Cameron Stone.
Just in front of it, there was also a little bit of a checkup that happened with the 19 of Hutchinson and the 97 of Hoytsma that I think caused that 17 situation a little bit further back. It was visible from where he was, so might have something to do with it, might not. But what I can say is it is definitely a hornet's nest, 15th on back.
Yeah, remember the air driver in the conversation, the in-season challenge. Hutchinson needs to get up as far as he can here, pick up some spots here, if you will, because at the very least, Benefield's got the very big upper hand on the short run. Already up to second. That 19 needs to dig, and part of those in the pack. Contact for the wall of Tower Hunter. Conklin trying to make it offset 3 wide to get around Duggar as well.
Oh my goodness, that 48 car was pushing real tight on the exit of turn 2. They're 3 wide a little bit further forward. The 62 Neil Pearson, 22 with Murray. The 8 car Giglio up here too. They were 3 wide. I mean, this is a little bit better than what I saw a couple days ago. So pretty good. Happy to see it so far.
Yeah, we're seeing a few of these drivers absolutely in a situation where a lot of them want to pick up the spots before things really start to spread apart here over the course of the short run. This track can see these packs splinter here. Dylan Basin, mind you, in the clean air, still running 52 flats. The fall off already half a second in 6 completed laps.
It's only going to continue from here. I mean, there's rumors of seeing it drop off quite a bit from his fastest, from everybody's fastest lap. You might see it. We've seen a 1.5 second prediction all the way up to, I've heard once someone say 3 seconds to fall off, which is insanity, 2018 levels. So we'll see what happens for him. But you can see right now in the lap times, Basin is just knocking it off. He's just going faster and faster than even second place right now. He's got that thing glued to the racetrack.
Yeah, that machine is a rocket, mind you, right now.
Early run.
Faster than a lot of those. Yeah, you're right. That's going to be a big test. Is that going to be an impact for later in the race? Especially when you have to think about the tire sets. The fuel range is already, because of the extra power, expected to be 4 laps shorter than what you get in a normal power band, by the way. Expecting 36 to 38, give or take, tonight.
But the big concern is not really going to be the fuel, I don't think. I think it'll be the tire. I think that's going to be the big story. drivers already up in the top 3, they're not really in concerns right now. It's more drivers like what we said, Conklin is really showing that he's got the ability to move forward over and over again. He's up to 16, almost about to crack top 15. But Hutchinson, in terms of what his story for this race has got to be, he's got to learn early, got to figure out how that car's handling. Then he's got to find a way to make that car faster than everybody else and somehow catch second place runner Adam Benefield, who already started the race with a great car. So he's going to have an uphill battle to start this thing, and he needs to get that car towards the front if he wants the big bucks.
Yeah, one thing we learned, though, when it comes to the big thing, and the reason I mentioned the fuel part of this here, Kirk, too, is we might not see people take full fuel tanks tonight, because here's the thing. Was one of the things picked up last night with the full fuel, it's 12 seconds. If you take the tires, 4 tires, that's 10 seconds, as we've talked about. We didn't see that a lot at North Wilkesboro because the way the runs work for some of the stints. So in theory, if you were smart as a team, where the fuel part comes to the equation with the tires mixed in, is a lot of these teams may do short fuels to make sure at the least in some of these runs tonight, they stay under 10 seconds total, so they don't lose 2 seconds in the pit lane.
I see. So you're saying essentially that if you come down pit road and you take tires and just go when the jack drops, you're not going to have enough fuel to make it a lot further than some of these guys that wait, but you do gain track position.
But remember the stints projected for tonight, there's a chance you don't need as much fuel. You can save 6-10 laps of fuel, especially depending on when you see pit stops in this first stage later in this one. We might see people save about 15 laps of total gas, give or take, to save some extra time. Either way, it's going to be important you keep up with the in-car adjustments as a result here, not only with the track, but with the expected fuel limitations we could see tonight.
I tell you what, that's definitely a discussion that the drivers are going to have. But I'll tell you what, I'm glad I'm up here in the booth, because right here, good Lord, on the racetrack, it looks a little chaotic. You see the 88 of Komacheski. This is a little bit further back. 88's on the top side trying to battle. Trying to get a run there towards the tail. I'm trying to make sure I get exactly where that is out there on the racetrack. I think it is for the 24th, just outside of the top 20. Kind of got this line of cars that just can't seem to get around each other. And when that happens, some cars get desperate. They'll try and do whatever it takes to get by. That one car slowing them all up. And it may have been continuing, but back here in the 20s, yeah, definitely not having a fun day.
And some of the drivers back here, Alex Coffey, for example, trying to plug away spots. We've seen some of the others. Just some of these machines are going to have a busy day. Take, for example, those we see with the Brakes Chopper looks. Those are the KCP machines that have some of the backing with a couple drivers now in the series. Was seeing their respective social media people, as well as some of the people part of that organization, mentioned in the case of trying to find gig wheel opportunities. It's been interesting to say the least, because he's got a purple stripe. Not every series allows you to run with a pro license outside of the top series. So for the 8, this is one of his prime opportunities to represent his team outside of just the NASCAR.
Yeah, we talked about it before the actual show started. I feel bad for Giglio. I mean, I feel like you go and apply to go run in some of these leagues, and they'll just say, oh, man, you're out of our league. You're 10 times better than us. We don't want to race with you because you're so dang good. And I feel so bad for him. But here, he's definitely welcome. Happy to have him here. Top 10 running position for him. And he's got to feel good about that. Being able to run out here full-length races against great competitive fields. That's the important part. You want to get a bunch of good drivers out there to make it work. And you can see one of them right now making a charge here, trying to go for P14. It is that 17 machine.
Now a couple of these drivers trying to plug away, like Conklin and Hodgson. Hodgson looking like he's not as good on the corner X compared to what Conklin's got. Had to check up, though, once again for the time being. Hodgson right now a +9 for his sake.
No, I got to tell you, I'm looking at this pylon right now, and there's one driver that just fell off the cliff who did really good yesterday in the O'Reilly race, Cody B. Johnson. He started today in P9, but he's all the way back here in 24th. He's fallen way off the pace. He's not anywhere near where he qualified or where he practiced. I mean, he practiced, he had P5, and quali was P9. So it's a little unusual to see that car so far back.
Honestly, alarm bells might be going off here in the EPI camp, because here's the thing. In official races, they've been one of the top teams outside the Ryko camp this week in NIS competition. Won one of the top splits on the Wednesday. Had Lim in second in last night's top split. And you would expect tonight those on that setup bigs would have strength, but only 2 of those cars are under the EPI tent tonight. Conklin able to make some moves, by the way, as we're discussing that. But that's part of what we might see with the 110%, with how much that's going to impact the weight balance, possibly, on how these tires are impacted with more heat in the tires. And we're seeing that really impact with some of the teams you see normally run to the front with 100% power, really having a battle to get their spots here tonight.
It changes everything. The moment you raise the power, you raise a lot of different metrics that's going to make the car harder to handle. And I'm looking at a battle on the track right now. Neil Pearson in the 62 and the 8 car Giglio side by side. This is for a point for the stage racing here. Giglio's got it right now, P8. Neil Pearson wants it. He's looking to the inside, still side by side. They'd love to get an extra point here.
Yeah, you see how the 62 is able to stick to the bottom, but the more you drive side by side, the more time you can lose. They're already a tenth back last time. There's the move complete for the 62. Again, for those curious, this is the same track temperature as officials currently, if not 1 degree difference. 118 degrees Fahrenheit is the track temp. Air temp is about the same, so it's just about identical conditions if you've been keeping up with the officials this week, for those wanting the data, watching along tonight. That in mind here, as we continue on, this track might get even hotter as the race goes on here, Kirk, than 118, more importantly, because the more laps we turn, the more rubber is planted down, the more that average is going to kick up.
Yeah, I can see that argument. The issue that I see with it is that I'm noticing the only part that is going to be increasing throughout the night is going to be the humidity. It's right now at 44, going up to 45, a little later in the evening. I'm seeing the forecast staying at 84 and dropping down to 83 in like an hour. So I don't know. I think it'll stay rather consistent. I don't see it switching up. But the thing is, from my point of view, I don't really. From a driver's point of view, weather is so important. You really got to pay attention to that, because your setup might be set up for a hot track and not a cold track, and you never know. So as a fan, though, those numbers just mean if it's hot, it's slick. If it's cold, you got a little more grip. Good for you. That's kind of how that works. So if you want to look at it that way, it's like medium heat. Still going to be a little bit slick, but not crazy off the wall bonkers slick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And mind you, it helps that so many sim racers are meteorologists. Bit off topic, but still, that is literally a thing. Heitzma versus Conklin, meanwhile. This is for 12th, you see there. Right now, the 17 still plugging away. His laps, not the same as Basin and Clean Air, but it's quicker than a vast majority of those in front of him.
He's having fun. I mean, I can guarantee you that. One of my favorite feelings in all of racing is whenever you got to start in the back and you got a faster car than most of those guys around you and you get to pass them all. I mean, that's one of the most fun things you can do. But in this case, he just spun out during qualifying. It was not intentional. He spun out during qualifying, hit the wall, did not get a time that worked for him. So he's forced in this position to go from the back to the front. And one of the benefits of being able to see qualifying happen in the session is we get a chance to actually see why some cars may not have gotten a time. But now we did. So worked out in his favor to drive from the back to the front. But it was not a choice he wanted to make by any means. But look at this P2 right now. P2, P3, Delaney and Benefield. Delaney has been catching this 83 lap after lap, and he's about to make a move. I think in the next 2 laps, you're going to see that 6 car make a move on the 83.
Half a tenth quicker over the past 10 laps on the average, has picked that to about a tenth a lap over the past 5. Now here's the tough part. Right in the midst of dirty air, there's not a lot of leeway with the way the line works to try and offset the headlight to avoid as much of the dirty air effects without hitting the curb. Delaney almost hit the curb and nearly spun it out of 2, actually.
Oh, yeah, and just behind him, Dyson got a hold of the wall just a little bit, too. So you're right. You got not a lot of room to work when it's a single-lane racetrack like that. I mean, you can defend on the outside a little bit, but, I mean, it's not preferred. So as long as you're the lead car and you stay on the bottom, it's so hard to get past.
Meanwhile, Nick Isaacs working with the Ryko camp here tonight. You can see he's dancing everywhere. Right now, about 17th is where the 2 machine runs at the moment. Just fighting with the car. We have pit stops already. Hutchinson has come on down and brought Lucas Hoytsma, his teammate, with them. So the plan seems to be to run the run backwards for them.
Yeah, and remember that one of those cars was last year's champion. So remember, this is not a bad idea, according to what statistics would say. Because right here, the 97 and the 19 hitting the pit road a little early, just before the halfway mark in stage 1. We'll see if it works out for them. Maybe they can pick up a lot of time here, but I think this is going to start a chain reaction. I think we might see a lot of cars come down pit road now that they see a couple come down. If you're in a position, you know how much time you can gain from the fall off, which is huge at this point.
10-second stops, remember, so they don't need to take as much fuel with this time in the pit stop too. Galata's going to try the same thing right now. That sees Conklin now move into the top 10. See, though, there is the thing, though. With this track, it's so big. Depending on where you're running, you might get to stay on the lead lap. Jason S. Taylor did not get that chance. Dylan Basin just lapped Hoytsma and is blending with Hutchinson. Oh, my!
Big hit in the wall. He got so loose. Okay, I think the tires are starting to scream. I think 22 laps, we're going to start seeing the right rear get lit up, and these cars are going to be so hard to handle, we can't believe it.
Here's the thing about this car this week that we've noticed is you may not have the cosmetic damage, Kirk, but if you damage the body with a hit like that to the tire, you can absolutely cost yourself 10, 20, 30 seconds of damage.
Oh, boy. Yeah, do not want that. No, sirree. Hoytsma just unlapped himself. He just got by the leader. And this will actually be a good shot. We could see the difference in the speed. So right there, the 97 just came down pit road. He is heading down the straightaway here. And what you're going to see is how quick he is to scoot away. That 06 is on older tires, and that gap is going to exponentially grow over time. Here he goes into this corner, 3 and 4. Basin has to slow up way more to make the corner work, as the 97 can go a lot harder. He can push that corner. He's got fresh tires. Same thing here in turn 4. And because of that, he's doubled the length of his distance he had from the 06 just from the back straightaway. So he's going to continue to have that happen. As look at Delaney. He's coming in from P3 down pit road.
Oh, we have a slider. That is Delaney that was trying to lock it up. We were talking about this before tonight. The O-cone is really early. Yes, you're right. Conklin also came down pit road. But the point was trying to make here is you have to be right on the binders into pit road speed limit before you even get to the pit wall.
Yep, you can see all that smoke. People are going to lock it down, like straight up lock it down, and it will not feel good. It will not. We almost had a collision on pit road. 17 almost hit Devin Medeiros. Luckily, avoided contact. A little bit of a checkup there saved him. But, yeah, no, now these guys are starting to think about it. They got to know, okay, Delaney's on pit road. Now he's gaining a lot of time every lap. But remember, they were already like 3 seconds, 4 seconds back behind the leader. So Basin has some time he could play with here. Delaney's on pit road. Benefield Dyson, I should say, both of them coming down pit road. Now Matthew David Wood inherits P2, 7 seconds behind Basin.
See some of the pit road intervals popping up with some of their stops here as they make the roll down the lane. Basin now is going to take halfway complete this time by here in stage number 1. See where Conklin actually blended out just in front of his teammate. See how quickly that 17 scoots away if that sees the 06 respond. Remember, he had a couple seconds to work with, so if he wants to, he can have a couple lap fresher tires here, but may still have to make the car adjustment. There he goes, coming to pit right here. Keeps it simple.
Right
On
down
some two.
halfway. Whoa! He might have sped. He might have sped. Is he good?
No, he did
Oh,
not.
Wow. He just drifted the thing for fun then. Good for him. All right, good deal.
I want to call it fun, but it's definitely a save to make sure it doesn't cause a spin. Matthew David Wood, who missed last week having a chance to battle for a spot to compete for the $250 here, is here this week. He and his teammate are now 1 and 2 on the racetrack.
And how long are these guys going to push? I mean, at this point, I'd say come down pit road as soon as humanly possible. Everybody else has come down pit road. If these guys can get a caution, then yeah, they look like heroes. But they're actually not really, because when you pit, you come back out in front of the leader. You don't lose a lap. So honestly, I'd say come down pit road. You don't have anything to lose. If you pit, you have everything to lose if you stay out long.
Looks like they're trying to run it as far as they can because caution could be pretty helpful for the tire splits. Tower Hunter, by the way, amongst those who enter this time. Everybody that came down previously keeping their service complete here and taking the access road now. Just a lot of them like Moore, O'Brien Jr., and some of the others that are all blending on the racetrack. That in mind here, Tanner Marti was the R1 who came down this time. Basin is still your net leader with a 4-second advantage over Benefield.
This is just going to get exciting, man. I cannot predict how this is all going to cycle out here, but I can tell you that some cars are going way slower than others. It's kind of chaotic right now. It's like when you pour water into a cup. It's constantly swishing around. Nobody really knows how it's going to settle.
Here we go. Matthew David Wood is in. Might see Robert Miller next lap. Looks like they're going to offset it to make sure there's no contact between the teammates here. And lead lap. That's also going to help too, potentially for the stat sheet. That being said, here's trying to stretch it. Giglio, Murray, Stone, Kovacheski. Evan Mesnar, I believe, is also still yet to pit, but is half a track back of Miller at the moment. As we keep an eye on some of the errors here, there's some big separations. A couple of these teams. Basin is 32 seconds behind Robert Miller at the moment for reference. As we still follow along with the 88, there's a look at the 06.
I just struggle to think staying out's the right idea because the 06 could actually get you lapped once you do come down pit road now. So you're kind of forced in a box where you have to stay out, hope a caution happens, and you only got really 10 laps left of fuel that you could use. So it's got to happen sooner, but you're right. The separation makes it very difficult to think it's actually going to happen.
Yes, indeed. A few of these drivers complete more of their service. Murray did duck in this time. Amongst those who had to come down for their fuel. Almost 30 laps into the run. Back with Komacheski, meanwhile. Trying to battle with Cameron Stone at the moment. These drivers still trying to fight for what's third on the racetrack at the moment.
You know, I'm thinking about it. I'm looking at the 19 car. The 19 car, we saw him come down pit road really early. But where he was running prior to coming down pit road was 11th place. He was in 11th, right? And that's before pit cycle started. Now, he is net 5th place, I believe, the way it looks. Basin, Benefield, Delaney, Galata, and then Hutchinson. So this is a tremendous benefit to the 19 if he's able to maintain his position. It just shows that he can jump people by pitting a little earlier.
There is one other driver, by the way, to give a quick shout out for the attempt on the start today. Jose Medina has had a bit of a rough one to start off. 2 laps down, not sure what's been going on with the 40, but is still logging laps. If there's any attrition, he can pick up some spots here in the future. Not the way I think Medina was planning to start this, obviously, but he is being very cordial tonight.
His job is just to survive. I mean, Jose, he's a straight-up guy. and no matter what, he's going to tell you that he just wants to finish this race. And so I'm happy with him. I hope he's able to get a couple more spots out of the night, but he's just trying his best. He's an awesome guy nonetheless.
Yeah, I believe he may have had a tech issue or something along those lines to start the race with what it looks like. So that's partly. Let's put him behind the 8 ball here because things got started. You had Hill off pit road, then Medina joined in. So he's hoping for some luck. Robert Miller is pitting this time by the way. So watch for the 15 to enter the lane. See some of the others in the train like Conklin continuing to pick up spot after spot. Right now, net top 10 is where you'll find the 17. Miller is coming in now.
That means that the lead is going to be handed over to the 8 car of Blake Giglio. He's going to be taking over that lead right now, and now the 8 car is going to be able to lead some laps, but I don't know how this is going to benefit him really. He's going to have to hope for something to happen. He's in a position where if nothing happens, he's kind of in a rough spot.
Yeah, a couple of these drivers are going to be in really intriguing situations. The old tires can withstand for at least 10, 15 laps, potentially, at least on normal power band. That's still up for grabs tonight if anyone wants to try that. But it's been clean and green. Some very clean racing so far tonight here from the Brickyard. No major forces of passes, no bits of contact. Everyone's been able to keep it straightforward.
I think this is just a very different race too, because whenever you watch the official Brickyard 400 or other things like that, it feels like a different race. I don't know if you're getting the same vibe, Justin, but it's just slightly different. Even though same track, same cars, the only difference is that horsepower, but the distances between the cars have spread out vastly, I believe.
Now, it might be partly with what we expect with the higher horsepower band with these types of cars, or in general a stock car. Remember, when it came back to the 750 horsepower package back in the way old days, it feels like, of 2018, when, some of us were still 8 years younger now. Are you feeling old yet? Well, in that time, the gaps could get a few seconds per car up in some of the major races, especially for a Brickyard 400. So it wasn't exactly the type of race where it'd be bumper to bumper in officials at least. Now tonight, the cars are still pretty close. The big thing's going to be here, they still have to think with under 20 to go, where are they going to go with their tire cycles? How big are the tire differences are they going to be with some of the pit differences of 10 laps for some of these cars? We'll find out soon.
Look at Cameron Stone up here. You're going to see cars that have faster tires. You can see like the 16 came down pit road a little later than the 41. He's going to get by. But up towards the front, there are some cars that are really risky, and we should talk about them. We got Blake Giglio already talked about him, but here, Cameron Stone, 57 machine, Coors Light. He's raced all year long, been maybe a top 10 car, not necessarily up in the top 5 that much, but he's having himself a great run this afternoon and have a good feeling about him. Hopefully it works out for him. But you also see the 88 of Kolmacheski right behind him, very close together. And these guys, they're going to have to come down pit road soon, right now. Exactly. So with these guys coming down, look out, hold a brake, don't spin it. Good job. All right, good deal. They are giving up that position on the racetrack, and now it looks like Basin will only have to wait for Giglio to choose to come down pit road. Lap 35. So Giglio is going to be our judge of how far you can go on a pit cycle.
Looks like he's going to be the rabbit, if you will, the tester. He is one of 2 drivers yet to pit that are on the lead lap at least. Medina's also in that same boat. Mesnard also yet to take service, but has already been passed by Basin. Only 18 seconds up the road. So he calls this time for the 8. Looks like he's going to go at least one more lap. See Corey Moore taking his time to actually figure out a way around him. Doesn't want to force the issue. He's running 32nd at the moment.
All right. Well, I'm looking here, and I got a couple messages from some team owners, multiple, who are saying that they feel like their cars are driving horrible right now. It's just, I don't know why they tell me that out of the blue, but I just got a couple messages from 2 separate people. with that statement. And I'm like, oh, these guys are normally up front too. So I was just like, oh, well, all right. Apparently something is not merging well with those folks. I won't say for the broadcast, but goodness, it is kind of interesting to see how this is working. And look at this gap that Giglio has to the leader. He has 16 seconds that Basin is trying to catch back up, but the 8 car is still on the racetrack. Lap 37. He's pushing it as far as humanly possible. It's not going to benefit him if there is no yellow. He needs a yellow to make this worth it. And he has just a few more corners before he might run out of gas before that even is possible. But I got to mention, that 8 car is still hanging on. That 42 car has been trying to get around him for a while. And 42 has tires. That 8 car doesn't. And they're running right around the same pace.
Now Cameron Stone going to try and battle for position, also get around the 42 possibly. This is actually holding up the 8 a bit, and there he goes out on the marbles. He nearly lost the car, holds on to it. I don't know if that's going to be the signal to come down after that slide. Nope, he says we're going to keep going.
Well, I am stunned. 38 laps going to be 39. If he can stay out yet another lap, 8 car's going to tell us all. Yeah, I think it's very top of the window. We're right at where we expect the car to run out of gas. So, I don't know. I think that we're learning as a group here what saving your stuff can look like in terms of fuel. So, how far can you push it? And he's learning that too, because the gap he's going to have from him to Dylan Basin might be something that people can calculate to determine when the best time to come down pit road is. Now you can see Evan Nesdarn on pit road.
I think he was concerned about gas. He kept it pretty slow for a full lap. And I think just made it his pit stall with an early box. Should see Blake as a result come down. There it is. This is after 38 complete. There goes the 8. This should see and will see Dylan Basin come out of turn 4, take back the race lead by 7 seconds.
Man.
Did we remember the All-Star race? That was at Dover.
Yep.
It was one of those that was there. So I think he's got that experience is definitely helping with the 110.
Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, the thing is that when you go into the 110 horsepower range, it seems like we've seen Basin up near the front every single time. And so, man, it's just it seems to be fitting his style of race, and he likes that extra horsepower in that car. I did get another message from another team owner just now that said that our cars are driving okay, and I'm rolling my eyes because I'm like, okay, sure, let's go.
Define okay.
I can't say it because then it would give it away. But I can tell you that yes, I agree. Their cars are doing okay.
Let me guess. They're running 1st and 5th.
I don't know. I can't say one way or another.
Well, apparently Ben Byron's thought process there coming to play. Here's Kovacheski at the moment amongst those battling here. These drivers can't wait to see what happens for them adjustment-wise. These are drivers in the 30s.
So the thing is that, believe it or not, we only have 2 cars rather, that are at least 1 lap down. And one's about to go 3. So the thing is that I'm noticing that even though you went through a huge cycle of pit stops or whatever, I don't see you losing more than a lap ever. I mean, I'm looking at Giglio right now, and I'm trying to see where Giglio was the last one to pit. He's P27 right now.
Yeah, this is to where I think part of that is going to be that 1 second a lap difference definitely coming into play here, Kirk, because that 8 was at least 10, 15, 20 spots higher for the pit stop.
But now he can run the tires off the dang thing full throttle if he wants to. I don't think it's going to get him any stage points, but at least we learned something. Nobody else went as far as he did, and give him some credit. I mean, I like a good strategy when I see one, and I mean, it's an educational strategy to say the least. And is he getting past?
Yeah, that is Madero's getting on by on the inside. I think there is one of two things that could be happening here. One, he went the wrong way of the adjustment, or two, he took this full tank of fuel, which the pit side does say he took 13 seconds, and he stays out on the caution flag and becomes one of the cars at the front, flips the stage, pits on lap 80 in stage 2.
Interesting. That could theoretically work, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Because it's just like he did take tires, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't understand how on earth he's not running as fast as what we might expect.
Again, has to be saving if he's running the pace he's going. That's the only, unless it's the first theory. And in that case, got to get down pit road and try and fix the car during the caution period. Remember, he's one of those who tapped the wall at one point too. Here's some of the battling going on. It's 11th. 71's having a solid start to the run. Has been good in stage 1s this season. Nolan Hodgson trying to zip by. Look who's there too. Robert Miller on a bit fresher tires is quicker.
Battle for 11th, 12th, and 13th. All these guys, I tell you what, I see that 71 around the 12 more often than not. And I just got to say, them 15 we normally see up in the top 5. He's a little bit further back than what I normally expect to see him. But I think that 15's got a lot of speed in him, and he's going to try and come back from that. Try to get a stage point. He's got very few laps to work with to get there. But P13 right now, he's just got to pass these two guys and try and chase down, I believe it is Lucas Hoytsma there in 10th. Try and do something about it. And again, I got to bring up the strategy we saw pull earlier. Do you remember who the first two people we saw down pit road that last cycle was?
Well, according to the stint analyzer, Ralph Hutchinson and Lucas Hoytsma.
Exactly. Those two cars, they jumped a lot of spots. Remember, we saw Hutchinson, he was running in 11th. He's now up to 8th. And now Hoyts, I mean, it's really very much a good run to get him where he is. But the car that we're on board with real quick, Hunter Truel in that 71.
Oh, he missed the bottom.
Our producer's pointing out that the car is just loose, really loose.
That machine's not gripping up well. It's missing the apexes. Hunter needs to figure out what he can do and adjust here. He missed the apex again because of the pass. That car is not turning right. So he's going to be one of those probably into the workshop pretty soon. With us coming around, going to be 5 to go next time by in the stage. Benefield still leads for the $250. Hutchinson, though, we're talking about him, splitting on to 8th. Here's Benefield's difference. He's picked up a gap to Delaney. There's the 19, trying to hold back. Andrew Dyson, who's behind by a second. Try and pick up the Matthew David Wood, who's up the road by another second as well.
The biggest surprise you gotta look at here for this top 10. Basin being 7 seconds ahead of second place. Are you kidding me? And then you get the Galata, 8 now, holy cow. And then you get back to Galata, who's 12 seconds back, he's 4th. And then look, you got 12, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 17 seconds from 1st to 10th. And that really just shows how good that 06 car is. And that 17, remember, he started back 30s. Under green, no cautions came out during the course of this stage. He is already to the top 5 going for 4th. That just shows how fast those two cars are.
And right now, this is not 100% too, I don't think, with Conklin. He's trying to make sure these tires don't melt off the car. There's a certain gear in some leagues he's popped up in outside the FLCC lately where if he needs to pick up spots and go somewhere late, you'll know it. Like when he goes 3 wide into turn 2 on lap 1. But still, Conklin right now is in a really good spot. I think you can argue once we start stage 2 to contend, try and battle it out possibly for the race lead if he's able to get himself by a couple cars. But that's an if still. He's still trying to fight to get around Galata and pushing tight here.
Car control is a huge part of it too, because you got extra horsepower means that you got to be real steady with that accelerator pedal. If you are somebody who likes to mash the gas, I don't think it's going to work in your favor. You got to be real smooth with that throttle input. You got to be in the right spot for it, because you're gonna burn your rears up if you try and mash it like you normally would in the next gens or other cars that have a little less horsepower that doesn't have necessarily the wheel spin that you'd expect. So from their point, I got to give the drivers more credit than the cars this time. I think the drivers themselves, we're seeing a lot of the best drivers that we've seen in the entire series up front. Basin, one of the best. Benefield, one of the best. Delaney, one of the best. Galata, Conklin. These guys are some of the best drivers that we've seen in this series, period, running in the top 5. And it just shows that it's a driver's, anytime you have high horsepower, drivers got to be the one to control it. And they do a great job doing it.
Some of the drivers that look to still pick up spots is going to be Robert Miller. Hoytsma is currently your stage point cutoff, coming to 2 laps to go in a pit road close sequence. Right now, though, that 97 on pace is bleeding time. Was 3/10 slower last time. Got loose in front of Hoytsma here, or Hodgson should say Hoytsma did get loose with, and Hodgson still can't get the run on him.
2 cars tucked under a blanket, can't see. Oh, wow, what's going on way up there in the front area? Something's going on a little further forward. Sorry, 17's going to make a move on Galata at the same time as that's going on.
Battling all over the track. Here comes Conklin. This is 4th. Can he clear? Like he's expecting lift. Definitely got the lift because Galata also got loose. As a result, Conklin has reached his ceiling with a lap and a half to go in the stage for these drivers. That battle for 10th has separated out with Robert Miller taking Hudson's spot, by the way. So they've had a change for 11th. 15, going to have to be quick. You're saying.
Yeah, Galata got in the wall. 62 of Pearson's getting by him, and now Matthew David Wood's trying to do the same exact thing. That 99 car is just off the pace. Contact. There goes Matthew David Wood towards the inside wall. Heavy left side contact. Back up the racetrack. Is the caution going to come out? Yes, it does. Caution will come out right before the end of the stage. Unfortunate for Matthew David Wood, who was running so well. Heavy left front damage.
Matthew David Wood crashes from up at the front of the field and gets a black flag for his efforts. Heavy damage for the 16, might get it cleared, but regardless, stage 1 complete from this.
Oh, man, my heart is broken, man. Oh, that's so bad. He had himself a great race all day long, a great stage, and he gets to that point where he's about to make a pass for a good position to get an extra point, and just contact sends him loose. So unfortunate.
Matthew David Wood falls out of stage points with that. Dylan Basin, Adam Benefield, Jonathan Delaney, Sean Conklin, Neil Pearson, top 5. Galata, Hutchinson, Dyson, Lucas Hoytsma, Robert Miller, the top 10. It's been getting worse for the 16 on the lap to catch the pace car, by the way. He's now hit both sides of the car. That suspension is definitely broken, or at least parts of it might have damage from that hit to the left. Might have some counter damage on the right now with the scrapes.
Yeah, that car is just not driving very good at all. You can see the car is broken. He's pretty much done unless he can get that car fixed. It's
possible, though, if you get enough.
Of course he can get it fixed, yeah.
But he needs everyone else to start wrecking the race cars, which is not a guarantee tonight when you're the first caution.
Yeah, it's just so, man, you're right. I don't see wrecks happening very often. That might be one of the few.
The entire field might be thinking about pits except for a couple. We'll see if that's indeed the case. Looks like we have at least one thinking of staying on the track. That'd be Evan Mesnard for a wave around. Majority of the errors are down. Now here comes the true test. Medina stays out. Does everyone come down? Don't. Looks like the 8 will miss the cone and stay on the racetrack.
Wow. Okay. So his strategy is going to be staying out, taking the lead away, and with slightly older tires. But like you said, he was slow, saving his tires, saving gas. who knows? It might work out. It might be something new, a new strategy, but I got to give him credit for trying something because you're not going to pass all these guys on pure speed right now. You got to try something strategy-wise. Just like this.
Oh, look at that. Benefield wins the race off pit road. Dylan Basin took a full load of fuel, while the others took about 10 seconds. So we have differences in how much fuel load is in the cars. That changes the running order. Basin elected to go with a 13-second stop to fill the tank.
Man, this restart's going to be fun. I'm excited. I don't know about you. What do you think, Justin? You excited?
Yes, I'm excited, too, to see what happens here.
Oh, yeah. Our producer's probably excited, too. Gotta throw him out there. Again, of course, a wonderful producer right here that we got today. Just want to share with you folks, guy who's controlling the cameras, Morgan Cook. He's fantastic. Good to have him out here.
Absolutely is. I'm curious on what the thoughts are here with Basin. Let's see if we can make sure to get him up into the conversation here from the Ryko/RFK camp. Dylan Basin, winner of the stage by 7-8 seconds. Now restarting fifth. Dylan, how would you describe that rocket ship you have tonight?
Car's great. I mean, it's been great during the 100% power in NIS, and with the 110%, one, it matches my driving style a lot more than, the normal next gen, but two, the car just seems to do better with it. Like, I was quite shocked that the balance was so good. Dover, we had to work in the car a lot for the All-Star to get it to have the same balance, but here it was like basically plug it and go. It's been amazing.
Of course, you had a longer pit stop compared to some of the others, though, so now you're in traffic for the first time tonight. To confirm, was that to fill the full fuel tank for the 3 seconds difference? And if so, what's kind of the game plan for stage 2, knowing some of the others may have potentially short fueled here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variables into it. We did full fuel, but that means you can either, like, if they short fueled right here, which I don't know if they did, or if they just took more fuel in the last green flag pit stop. If they short fueled right here, that means during the stop, I should have to take a little bit less this green flag run, so we'll see. I think our car's pretty good here too, so hopefully we can cut through this dirty air. I haven't experienced it yet, but I know the car's good. I mean, Sean's driven through the whole field basically in dirty air. So we're gonna send it right here and see what happens.
Good luck on the restart.
Appreciate it.
That's Dylan Basin for the Ryko camp, and there's the art part of that too. Remember, if you take not the full fuel but still leave enough leeway where you still don't need a full tank for the end of the stage, Kirk, that's where you can also see the 10-second stop, as he alluded to. There's a possibility for these drivers too.
Yeah, absolutely. So they just flip-flop it. One doing it one way and one doing it the other. That reminds me of before stages were a thing, how some people would flip the race to pit on lap 10 instead of waiting to the very end of the race to pit with 10 to go. I mean, that's kind of like where they flip-flop the whole strategy. Kind of cool. I like the idea. We'll see what happens. But again, I liked how happy he sounded. He sounded like he was having more fun doing this than he was in the regular next gen.
So with that being said, Giglio is up in front. Let's see how the older tires last. He's going to have to pit around the time of a lot of these drivers pit the last run either way. Here we go. This restart zone, one of the furthest down a straightaway. Green, green, green. Back and away. Got a good bit of fire off. Nobody forcing 3 wide except for one. That would be Lucas Hoytsma down around the 8th position or so. Some of the others just trying to make sure they survive the first corners of the restart before things start to separate.
Here comes Conklin down there, making 3 wide back there. Good Lord, side by side for second, Miller and Benefield, but then 3 wide back there. Cars still all over the place trying to make moves to try and move their position forward.
Conklin elected to go back behind. Benefield trying to hold on behind Basin. Delaney's been already looking tight right off the fire off. His teammate Ralph Hutchinson looking to go in the black flag entry. So the 19 is getting close for the in-season challenge. They'll all stay in line, actually. The black flag machines up in about the top 4, 5, and 6 positions up here on the restart. 5, 6, and 7 rather.
One car separates Hutchinson from Benefield, and then we got ourselves a $250 battle right there. I think this is going to be exciting if he's able to get by. 17's trying to make the outside line work on Hoytsman. He's going to carry a lot of momentum here. Some cars are in the wall on the back straightaway. Nobody wrecks, but I do see a couple cars. Oh, now they wreck. It's the 54 going around. There goes Hastings. Big hit on the back straightaway. 2 cars sliding. 3 cars. Komacheski hits the inside wall. Caution's going to come out.
Caution indeed out. Our second for incident on the night. They were running and battling for about 18th. I think it actually started with Nicholas Isaacs because he went up in the wall, but the problem is, watch the 54's line as he tries to pass the 2.
Goes down to the inside of him, and I couldn't quite tell from that angle, but that 54 hits the 81. Big hit, and then the 88 got spun a little bit further in front while they were trying to avoid the contact. I feel so bad for the 81. That car just came out of nowhere. And nothing that 81 could do, but it looks like his, it might have hurt his motor, but I don't know if it hurt his suspension. Let's look at it again from high above. See that 54? That 2 car's way up out of the group. 3rd lane even. He's like high enough to be 3 wide. He hits the outside wall, stays in the wall. 54 goes down to the bottom. And that is,
I think he was trying to get inside of Johnson and kind of follow Johnson moving up before he realized, of course, the 2 was still there. Komacheski went around as well in this. Paul Hill will have a good viewpoint of it.
See how that looked. Remember, the 88 got put into the inside wall. So this is, they see the wreck happening. They go down to avoid contact. 26 slams into the back of the 88, who loses control. And I think that was it for that 26, just front end damage. So can we ride on board from the driver's seat of the 81? Some cars are going to come down and get damage repaired. Of course, they hit the wall, they have damage. But the 81's on board, I think, is going to be really worth taking a look at because it'll put you in the driver's seat and you'll be able to see how much time he had to react to the car spinning right in front of him.
Yeah, we'll see this one more time in a moment. By this point, he's already cleared off by the incident from that look. But here it is.
So you really can't see a lot of cars because that green car's blocking a lot of them. He's going to get a little bit of a run here on the green. And then smoke. And, oh, there you go. Now you got a view. Go down low. Hope. Nope. Wrong choice. Unfortunately, he had 2 choices. One, stay in line and hope that it stayed clear, or go down low and hope that the car stayed wreck up against the wall. And unfortunately, he chose... he zigged when he should have zagged, as Cletus McFarland would put it.
So the Tricon crew member with the contact there. On the bright side for Matthew David Wood, this gets him back in the lead lap. He still has to fix the car for another few minutes at least, though. Here's the thing about this track. You don't have a lot of time to do it. He's got half a pace lap, if not a third of it, to actually get any repairs done. He's going to still need multiple caution flags. He's already, for whatever reason, gone to the infield care center.
I wanted to talk to. I pulled him up there. I was going to talk to him for a quick second. Hey, Matthew, Kirk up here in the booth. You got a copy? Hey, man, got to ask you, how much time you got left on that repair?
5.5 minutes. So I'm just going to pray for some cautions, take the laps, and do what I can.
All right, so you said 5.5 minutes. Make sure we heard that right.
4.5 minutes right now. I had 6, so it's we're down to 4.5.
All right. Well, these cautions are helping you out, man. You had a great stage 1 all the way up until the end there. How you feeling? And what about how's your hopes feeling right now?
Well, I think it was more. I mean, it's a racing deal, but I can only blame myself. I saw it coming, and I opened up too early and went right into his door. So I'm just gonna. I mean, the set feels amazing, even winning pace. So hopefully Rob can get up there and make me proud. But as far as me, I don't know how much hope there is, but I got another stage coming, so I'm gonna see how it is till the stage. But right now my right front wants to go into the grandstands and get a hot dog or something.
Lord.
So
Well, again, I'm sorry to hear you got into that trouble, man, but we just wanted to bring you up here to see how bad the damage was and how long it would take for you to be able to get that all fixed. So thanks for coming and talking to us.
All right, God bless everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, wish you the best of luck.
Got Matthew David Wood running 31st at the moment. We are at 1 to green. Giglio still in control. Dylan Basin has driven up to second, though. The 06 has an opportunity here to take the lead back. Giglio, since the strategy call, has led 13 laps, actually. Now on the 8 machine, overall so far. Keep in mind, you also have Miller, Benefield up in the top 4. A lot of fast race cars getting all geared up for this restart.
Big surprise here is seeing how fast that Basin car got back to a top 2 spot. And this restart's going to be a really big deal because Giglio, he's on a lot older tires than everybody else around him. And he's got to make sure he does not spin those tires. With the higher horsepower, it's going to be easier to spin the tires. You got more torque, more horsepower equals more torque. It's just how it works out right here. So we wish him the best of luck and controlling that car on the restart and getting a good jump. But again, the big story is Ralph Hutchinson and Adam Benefield. If you look at it, they are right now so dang close to each other. I think they're nose to tail, aren't they?
Yeah, some of these drivers are nose to tail, bumper to bumper on that outside line. Not really grouped up well on the inside for some reason. Galata's not bunching up the way he needs to. Green. Back underway. Good start for the 8. Now he looks to play defense. Watch for Basin to try and get the run built up. He actually hit the wall trying to get the arc.
Oh, this is where it gets tight. Gets real tight here. Got to be real careful. I mean, some guys nearly hit the wall. We got one car trying to go up the 3rd lane almost. It's going to be 3 wide again. Look out. Oh, my goodness. Now, they were able to hang on to it, keep it 2 wide. But the battle for the lead's heating up. Here comes Basin trying to get down to the inside of Giglio.
Basin taking pokes. Basin electing to wait for a better opportunity so far. Wait to see how good the corner exit is out of 4. Usually, a bit fresher tires have been able to eat and thrive out of there. Some side by side, you see though, Miller's going backwards to start the run. He's under attack by Delaney, Dyson, Pearson, Conklin, and Hoytsma with them.
They look like they're pacing at a pace speed, but at 190 mile an hour. Going into turn 1 at Indianapolis. 841 got real tight. He had to check up a little bit. 17 had to check up to avoid contact. They're still going at it. They want to get all they can get now. 17's going to get a huge run on the exit here. Will he try and go down to the inside of the 62? He had a big old run. Yes, he's going down.
Conklin has kind of gone backwards a little bit to start off after the previous restart. Now picking up the spots. 17 starting to get the speed together as big boost of clouds have fallen over the racetrack all of a sudden. Race lead, you're right, is bumper to bumper. Basin is on the inside of Giglio. Here comes the 06 to take the top spot, takes it across the yard of bricks, as now it's Basin back in front.
Now, at this point, if you're Benefield, you can't let him get away that far. You gotta push hard right here, right now, to see if he can try and catch up to him. Clean air means so much, and it helps out Basin quite a bit. And it's going to be hard to catch him, but I think right now the drivers are starting to get more and more settled up front. They're pretty much comfortable. But back here for like Tyler Hunter, Truel, Alex Murray, these guys, 57 of Cameron Stone, these guys are kind of in a little hornet's nest, and they all have terrible, dirty air right now. And they're trying to navigate the traffic, try to get all they can get early on, and some cars are off center. It's just not a fun place to be right here.
No siree, and some of these drivers, I think right now are kind of showing that with some of the pokes they've been taking. Just want to get out of the danger zone, if you will. Fast lap of the race, Dylan Basin just said it, 51.189. But I was about to say, the clouds are definitely impacting the weather a little bit, a lot more than I think the teams may have expected. The track temp's almost down to 100.
Wow, actually, that's a huge swing. Temp same, but that cloud cover. Remember, that is such a big difference, big time. So, wow. It hasn't even gone down in the temperature. It was 84 earlier. Now it's 82. So, man, somehow that just seems to let it go down even further.
Keep in mind, you've seen the winds are also still pretty higher up, like in the sections around the west to southwest. That's currently heading towards turn 3. Conklin ready to make a move. This is on Miller, up to 6th.
Oh, what a slide there. He put in a lot of extra juice, and that's going to open the door for Miller to go for it again to the inside. Fun little race between these two.
Now this isn't going to last long, though. Even with Conklin hitting the rear there, able to power his way back at P6. He was around 4th before the end of the stage earlier on. Remember, we're racing up to lap 100 for those just tuning in here for stage number 2 for the FLCC. Stage 1, basic controlled that, and everybody is looking well secure for stage points. Not too many concerns about that incident limit yet, with there only being 2 cautions for incident. That being said, as Basin starts to run away a bit up at the point, they're all stacking up behind that 8. There's the 06. He is running away.
You know, I got to tell you this right here. I'm looking at the polarizing facts about strategy. Who was, again, we talked about the first 2 to come down pit road. That was Hutchinson and also Hoytsman. Both of those cars are right now in the top 10, better than where they were running before. Hutchinson, definitely the better of the both, right now up to 4th. But who stayed out the latest? We know it was Blake Giglio. He did that so that way he could stay out at the stage and he can inherit the track position. So it shows that you can pit early and still end up in the top 5, and you can stay out God knows how late in the stage and still somehow be able to go out and get into the top 5 another way. And they're right now nose to tail. See the 19 there trying to catch the 8? But the real thing I'm noticing is that 19 car is kind of creating a pack behind him. Tells me that 19 is not quite as fast as those cars behind him.
Yeah, this for Hutchinson has to find a way. Get in front of the 83 at the minimum. Here's the problem. He's not the fastest out of the teammates right now. Delaney's been really good in the mid-run, especially tonight so far we've seen. There's the move. Hutchinson actually had lift because he nearly pushed into the 6th. Conklin takes advantage. Some of these drivers definitely, in terms of this, that's the tough thing. Depending on your preference or rather your preparation, unless you made a bunch of sessions or took part in the testing sessions that took place last week here at Kirk, you entered tonight going in blind, remember, with the 110 on what you would be feeling at the Brickyard tonight. They were testing if they wanted to add a weight penalty as well, anything along those lines to make things different on what would provide the best racing tonight. And we're seeing some of the drivers that may have took part in the kit testing versus some of those that are still searching for speed as this run goes on.
You know, I am curious. You said that you were on that broadcast in the Brickyard 400 yesterday,
yes.
Is that right? So
Correct.
I got to ask you, you watched that race, you saw how it was with 100% horsepower, now you're seeing 110. Which one do you think so far is having better racing?
Better racing? That's a good question because it was a lot similar to this in terms of characteristics. I would argue we're about near equal for at least this part of the run so far. The difference is just how some of these drivers are making passes. It's a little bit easier to pass tonight. I think is the answer to that question. Not, it's still difficult, but it's not as 30 air dependent in some circumstances. It's still dependent, but it's not to where it takes a long time to build a run.
Well, you know, it's hard to make this car look good on anything, but we're trying. We're trying to decorate a piece of crap with an umbrella. That's it. So we'll see how it works. So far, happy to hear that at least a little bit better. We'll probably ask one of the drivers that too for an interview a little later. I think that'd be cool to look at. See what the drivers think based on what they've run and what they ran tonight, like what the difference is on their behalf. We already know that our leader, Basin, said that he liked running this car better than he did yesterday. So, I mean, at least that's from the leader's standpoint. If we ask someone further back, it might not be the same. Right now, you can see Hoytsman's trying to make a pass on Dyson. Maybe Dyson would say something different.
Yeah, some of these drivers might have different opinions with the way things are going. Obviously, the Conti machine just trying to at least continue to score good points. Touched upon the points earlier a bit tonight. Dyson top 10 in it. I had 6 top 10s, or 6 top 5, 7 top 10s on the season so far this year. That's a big difference compared to last year, even when you factor in how dominant he was on the road courses last year. He didn't get as many road course wins this year.
Not at all. Yeah, I mean, it's just that much more competitive now, of course. We didn't really have Basin, or we also didn't have Conklin or Giglio in any of those last year. So kind of now that we got some guys that are, top tier drivers coming down and running with us, I could tell you that it's going to start evening out some of the better guys. So that's what we're seeing here, and also nice for the lap count. Very happy about that. Here we go.
I don't think that's what anybody was thinking about in that regard, but still.
I would.
Either way, we're about that point. We're in the window where we might see stops, at least we did last stage. It's going to get interesting who comes down first with us about, in a lot of cases, 18 laps in. The 8 is definitely a candidate for that because there are only 31 laps of the run.
Okay, so now I gotta ask you, man. We're getting to lap 100. Like that's the stage point, right there. Just
that would be the stage point, correct?
Yeah, so if they are able to get that, the biggest thing I'm looking at is not necessarily the top 5. I'm looking at the cusp of that top 10. You can see where the 41 is. You got Galata real close to it. Nolan Hodgson real close to it. I think that this battle for the top 10 for this final stage point is going to be a really big deal up until pit stops. Now, when do we see these cars come down pit road? Last time we saw them come down on lap 22. Technically, 22 laps into the run is going to be in a lap from now. So the door is going to open.
Corey Moore, first to come down this window.
Oh, perfect.
It's been running around the 20s over the course of the night for precision. Right now, his fellow teammate is running 14 down as Murray for reference. So obviously some of the drivers definitely are still in a battle to get track position. Look at some of the battling here. Dyson versus Galata. Galata out of the top 10 now.
Chesky on pit road. Now, when does somebody in the top 10 choose to come down? We saw that with Hoytsma and Hutchinson, and it worked out in their favor. So pitting early might work really good for you right now if you got a good car underneath you too. So I think some of these top guys got to start thinking about it. Maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm surprised not as many have come down so far with how powerful the undercut ended up being in the long term. But as you see, Giglio proving the tires can last pretty long here. It helps that the track is as cool as it is now. It's gotten a little hotter since the last check-in, but the 8's been able to withstand too much pressure. He's 3 seconds back of the leader, but the 8 has still remained in the top 5. Your biggest mover, by the way, is still Conklin, who's next up to pass the 8.
The 06's last 5 laps were nearly identical. Very little fall off, if any at all. So I think you're right. The colder it's gotten, the less fall off there is. Tires are just so temperature sensitive. Here comes Giglio on pit road.
Here we go. Giglio was in. He comes in after only 34 laps on the run. So everyone else is going to have to start thinking, when are they going to take the spot to take some pit stops? Everyone else rumbling their way down the back straightaway. See where things stand here. Right now, the 8's taking full service. 10 seconds for Harper, who just came down. Murray also came down. It was 12 seconds for Giglio.
So this is the part of the run where we're like, it's a calm before the storm. People are running fine their own speed. Some guys are starting to peel down, but the moment that, like, the group consensus is think that it's good to come down pit road like it is right now. Look at the 41. He's down. Galata. Okay, the storm has started. Everybody's coming down pit road.
Everyone's starting to peel down. Dyson, Galata, Hunter, Graves, O'Brien Jr. a part of this wave that take their service here. No issues down the pit lane to come on down this time. Here's a look at Hastings. Remember the contact earlier for him? He's still at plus 10 for his qualifying effort, but car looks okay. Seems to be driving well, although it's a little loose.
And not just him, Matthew David Wood's still on the lead lap with his damaged car, so good for him as well, trying to stay on the lead lap. I think he just needs to split it halfway and hope that he's able to keep the car going straight. He's got to get a lot more damage repaired before he's actually competitive again, but right now he is still on the lead lap running 23rd.
Hodgson amongst those down pit road this time. Hastings, too, will come down to take service from that 20th position, as well as a couple others like Marty and Medeiros that you see some of the numbers pop up there. All this as well, drivers such as William Owens just look to keep things clean. He's right now running ahead of Cody Johnson, who was one of those on the decline earlier. Basin, for reference, he's right now up by 2 seconds still over Benefield.
I'd say he's pretty comfortable. I mean, not a worry in the world. He's coming down pit road right now as we speak, and so is Benefield. Both of them are coming down, I believe.
Here they both come.
Oh, Delaney! Oh, he got a penalty. There's no way he didn't speed.
Oh, that was a little bit close. He's good. He's good.
Wow, that's getting all you can get going on pit road. That was phenomenal.
A little bit dicey, but he's able to withstand severe trouble, if you will, on that pit entry. That being said here, 71 still trying to stay out. Drill, Stone, Williams, Johnson, Anderson, Isaacs all rolling the dice.
We saw how the 8 car was able to inherit the lead the last time by last stage, where he stayed out all the way as far as he could and then drove really slowly at the tail end of the line until the caution came out for the stage. He was able to inherit up front position, and he was able to maintain it, stay in the top 3 until pit stop started. Maybe Truel, Stone, Williams, Johnson even, Bobby Anderson or Isaacs. These guys could possibly pull that same strategy if they absolutely want to. And the difference would be is that they'd have to come down pit road a little sooner. They have to make it 60 laps out from the stage instead of 50. So that means you got to push it a little bit further. 30 laps. These cars only are able to go 38 laps. We saw it the longest so far. So if that's the case, you're kind of pushing your luck, but maybe it's possible. We'll see what happens.
Definitely something to keep an eye on here as we keep an eye on some of the others. Stone did come in this time. Bobby Anderson, quiet day in the office. Right now, one of those trying to make sure not to plummet any further. Here's a look at what's going on with some of those who pit, though. Miller versus Giglio on the racetrack. Right now, these drivers have been passed by Conklin and Delaney, 15, able to get through. All this as well, if you're in the world of Basin, it's going to be hard to beat this 06 machine tonight, even his teammates. 4 seconds on the net race lead over Delaney. Benefield had issues on his pit exit, believe, and fell back 7 seconds from the leader.
Man, dominance right there for this leader. Unfortunate for Benefield. And now that puts him in a close battle with Hutchinson, doesn't it? I think it does. Hutchinson's going to be right around him. So remember, they're going for $250. The winner of the race feels good, of course, yeah. But the winner doesn't get $250. It's the person who beats. It's either the 83 or the 19, whoever beats the other.
Yeah, they're going to be 1 spot difference, as you said, so it's going to be pretty tight here on out for at least their conversation. Who comes on to the top there? Stephen Williams in. Coming up to 21 to go. This upcoming time by for the leaders. As you can see, the Cody Johnson machine staying ahead of Bobby Anderson's. They're 7 seconds back of the 71, but have a cushion of 22 seconds Bobby Anderson just asked, how do I switch to fuel map 5? This is not an IndyCar.
That is a great call. That's a great one. That's pretty funny. Oh, man. IndyCar is, that's what this place is made for. Indy is IndyCar, of course. Makes sense. But the NASCAR cars coming here. Kyle Petty, I don't agree with Kyle Petty. I agree with him on this track, where he doesn't think it should be a crown jewel just because we showed up. And I kind of get it.
Counterpoint. This is one of the most historic racetracks in the world.
That's true. It should be a crown jewel for Indy cars, not for NASCAR. Now, that's Kyle Petty's thing. I'm just trying to bring that up.
Either way, Kyle, I don't know if Kyle Petty has anything to do with tonight, but still. All this is to say, as we come up to 80 to go here, we're already coming up to halfway. These two have yet to pit. They can go another about 12-ish laps, give or take, if not more. So that would take them actually under 10 to go on the stage. Even they can go as far, maybe, if they are able to get within 4 to go at the stage.
And Cody B. Johnson, he finished second yesterday in the O'Reilly race, Friday Night Lights, if I remember correctly. He had one of the most dominant car all night, but got passed by Benefield in the closing laps. He was able to hang on to P2, but gotta say that maybe, of course, we know he's fast. We know he knows what he's doing, but I think that we hadn't seen him up front all day today, but I think he has a strategy plan to get up to the front, and now it's all about how much speed does that car have. He's trying to pull that strategy right now.
All this is wow as they continue to stretch this run. Looks like Benefield looking to pick up some lost time. There he goes around the 8. Gets a cushion now on the 19.
Just like that. Even it up as much as he can. 83, man. He's a quick one. He's got to make up all that ground he lost from his pit road mistake a little bit ago, and I think he's going to be able to have a chance to do it for sure, the longer the run goes. And we've seen it. He just got by Giglio, and now he's trying to chase down Miller. He's got a few seconds to catch, but once he's there, I think it'll be interesting to look at.
It'll be very intriguing, I think, absolutely. A couple of drops as we go about, but that all remains to stay. The fall-off difference, for those curious, is still 1 second. It seems as though the one major thing, Kirk, there was a prediction tonight on fall-off because I was curious on the number. Brandon Hastings predicted 3 seconds. We haven't gotten to 3 seconds here tonight, so that prediction has gone into a different ballpark. Meanwhile,
getting close to the wall, man.
Yeah. These drivers are scraping the wall down in a couple cases here.
The 5 is like all over his back bumper, though. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but these guys are on old tires. The cars ain't handling great. They hadn't been up front most of the day. And definitely in a different position than most of the field.
Here, look at this. Yeah, they are clutching.
They're saving.
You don't think they're going to try and steal the stage?
I think they could, maybe. I like to be an optimist. I hope. We'll see if that happens. He's hitting the wall pretty hard, though. You kind of need the throttle to be able to keep the car loose enough to where it doesn't wash up into the wall, but you can see the 5's kind of surrendering his right side for that.
Yeah, this could get a little bit interesting here now. And mind you, it's understandable for Anderson here because his spot for the points, you're trying to make sure you stay above the top 16. He's got a little bit of a tighter window. He's only about 9, give or take-ish, remember, up. So there's that part of the equation. Cody Johnson here, I mean, if he makes this work, gets track position to start stage 3.
I hope it does work for him. You know, I really do hope it works out. You're throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks. And as for drivers like Basin, I got to mention, look at the gap between Basin and Delaney. I think Delaney's got himself, you know, it's not a huge gap difference, but I haven't been able to see necessarily how much Delaney is losing or gaining to Basin. But it looks closer than it was. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, right now it's about equal. It's not too big of a difference. It's still 3.3 seconds for what it was the net lead of the strategy.
That's better than a whole 10th, which is what he was doing the entire first part of the first stage. The guy was so much faster. I guess that got to give Delaney some credit making some pit road adjustments to get the car back on par. So now he just needs to get the track position back.
Yeah. Right now, hearing the estimate for those curious, with about 0.8 difference between the oldies and the newies in terms of the tires, there is a chance Basin gets there. Because there's the look there. He actually gained a ton the past 2 laps. But if that continues on that trend before the tires reach the equalization point, there is a chance he zips by these drivers even with their save attempt.
I mean, if it does work, that's all I can say, Justin. If this works, these guys are going to feel like $1 million. They don't care if they win the race or not. They'd just be happy to win something. It was a good gamble.
Yeah, all this is to where they all go. Right now, for those curious where the battles are going in the heart of the field as we go, by the way, it's in the 20s, actually. Mesnard, who was one of those who gambled on strategy in stage 1, didn't work out his way. Darrell's trying to do something here in the 20 car. All in your contact. Mesnard keeps it straight. Darrell stays in line. RT Hastings trying to pick up some spots too.
3 of those guys are teammates. Lunar Racing, 73 to 20, and the 29 are all on the same team. I guess just having some fun back here in the back of the field. 81, who has that damage still from the front end contact, is you know, running right around 29th. Not much he can do about it for the time being, but I just got to say, that entire team right there, staying nose to tail, still racing each other. I think it's just a little bit of fun they're having.
Yeah, they're amongst those just trying to have some good old-fashioned fun here, try and pick up positions as this race goes on. Already near the hour-and-a-half mark since we took the green flag, by the way. This race zooming on by right now in terms of distance and speed. But Johnson still in the hard clutch. Anderson's not as hard on the clutch and smacking the walls down. He is pushing again.
I think Anderson just doesn't have the speed that Johnson's got. And he was drafting with him for so long, and it worked out for him a little bit, but now he just fall off, but he just doesn't have the same speed that Cody B. Johnson's got. And he's just got to maintain what he can and hope for the best. No matter what, I think it's a net gain for both of these guys if they can make it to the end of the run. Because if they can, then that means that these guys will have the ability to say that, how do I put this, that they will be able to have a better stage 3 start than what they would have started otherwise.
Yeah, but that's if they make it, because they still have 10 laps to try and stretch, and they're 32 laps into the run. They'd have to make it 42.
Mm-hmm. It's a big stretch.
Basin did fall off, by the way, a little bit. He's still putting up times that can chip it away, but it's 12.7 seconds to get the Cody Johnson for Basin.
Oh,
So,
boy.
Yeah, this is going to get really interesting with 10 to go for some of the drivers, but some of the others still battling. Remember Corey Moore, we talked about him trying to find some speed. He's found a bit of it. Ahead of his teammate Timothy Harper right now for 23rd. Stephen Williams, one of the Australians in the series, looking to try and find a way forward.
You know, he's actually doing not too shabby for the day. Good for him. Side by side on your screen, though, you see Paul Hill on the top, 71 of Truel to the inside. Side by side battle back here. Further back, this is again for the 18th spot.
Yeah, you can see how much Hill trying to squeeze, had contact. Hill started from pit road, remember, in this race tonight. Kind of been not able to really move too far. Usually you expect a lot more from Hill. Tonight, this driver 6th in the point standings, and having a scratch and claw just to get 18th.
Hill's side by side. They're not giving it up. 71, 26, they're leaning on each other, door banging. I mean, that's pretty...
Two wide battling as well, further back as well. Williams is trying to get around Harper. Alejandro Madero is also close to him. Here's the air battle. 71 versus 26 still. Under 9 to go in the stage. Drill trying to clear in the Lloyd machine. Hill once again, a little bit tight again.
When are they just going to settle this thing out? Come on, guys. Leaning on each other. Side drafting. I think that might be it right there, maybe. Maybe. Nope, side draft is going to bring that 26 back. They're still side by side.
Something's going to have to give here. With the side-by-side being almost 2 laps straight. And he cleared himself. Drill nearly turned himself across the nose of the hill, but was able to keep it straight.
He ain't going to be happy about that. I don't think that 26 is very happy about that at all. We'll see if that 26 can do something to get by him again, but again, top 2.
All of them trying to go. Lead is 10 seconds between the freshies and those stretching still. Here's a look, though, at the 23 on back. They're still bumper to bumper. Carroll's trying to find a way to go ahead. One of those in the Lunar Racing Performance Camp. Pretty quiet tonight. Meanwhile, they're still not done with some of the battling. Hodgson trying to get around Dyson for 14.
Right, a little bit of a microphone issue there. Got it all fixed up. Yeah, you're right. 12 car Nolan Hodgson having a pretty decent day for himself right there. Not necessarily the day he wants to have. I'm sure he'd love to be in the top 10 right now, but he's running with Dyson, who's also kind of in a similar boat. Both cars running for teams that are normally in the top 5 and just running just outside of the top 10. Not going to get any stage points this time. Probably a little bit concerning if I was on their pit box.
Possibly. But for now, you still have 6 laps to stretch if you are these two still. Right now, looking like they're going to try as long as they can. 52.9 still for them. They're almost at the 53s. The fall still is 1 second. Basin has reached nearly the 1 second mark for himself, with some of the personal bests as high as the 51s tonight. So, as Bobby Anderson again tries to knock the wall down, they're still going to get interesting on the fuel mileage. Basin just knocked the wall down, by the way, from 3rd.
Luckily not too hard, or that would be a bigger story for sure. These cars are tanks. They can definitely take it. And now whether or not the top 2 cars can make it on gas, they wouldn't stay out this long if they thought they wouldn't. So I think that Cody thinks he can make it. Bobby thinks he can make it. And it's only time's going to be able to tell, but I am surprised by their move to do this. 2 cars choosing a different strategy than we've seen all day long, and it's working out so far.
It's making it interesting here in stage 2, and one outside of that's been honestly an extremely calm race so far.
Oh, yeah.
2 cautions, but they're both for incidents. Outside of that, things have really spread to Gen 6 low horsepower, high downforce type of gaps that we were referring to earlier. Delaney, Conklin, Miller have kind of equalized together. Giglio, Hutchinson, Galata, Hoytsma have equalized together. Hunter and Pearson's a pack. Dyson and Hodgson a pack. Murray, Duggar, Drill Hill a pack. There's not too many big giggles. It's worth noting Jose Medina just came down. He was 38 laps of the run. They're already 37, 39 for Johnson and Anderson now.
So this is the point where they would run out of fuel normally, but they have been saving fuel the entire run, and that caution that came out really saved these guys an opportunity to pull some strategy, see if it worked, and this is kind of the fruits of their labor. Let's see what it looks like once they actually get there. Can they save enough? I think they won't get caught by Basin if they keep the current pace, but whether or not they run out of gas, we'll have to watch that together.
Think there's an issue. It's Robert Miller. Bad luck strikes again for the 15. He has towed the car. Let's see what happened. He was again running up front. Anderson couldn't make it either. He's in.
Oh no, 15, Robert Miller. He's running a half a lane up there. Not a big problem there. Got loose. Big spin. Oh boy, big hit to the inside wall. That means 2 of the SLOW cars. Big damage. I feel so bad for him. Right at the end of the stages, both cars got involved in wrecks. Right at the end of stage 1, we saw Matthew David Wood, and now Robert Miller at the end of stage 2. Same thing.
That could have been the saving grace for Cody Johnson. He is still saving hard. Still has 6 seconds, though. Coming to 2 to go. Now remember, if he cannot make it after they close pit road, it'd be a penalty. So he will attempt to go even further. He's not ducking down. 2 laps to go in the stage. Cody Johnson looking to steal one.
He made it. This is already set in stone what he's going to be doing. He said, I don't care. I'm staying out come hell or high water. That's it. So at this point, he's in a position to be able to do that. He's just got to save as much as he can. Oh, yeah, big time. He cut his lap times in half. He has time. You got 5 seconds, man. Save all of that. Coast as much as you humanly want. Just make it an extra lap.
He's trying to slow down even more on the apex, under 155 miles an hour here. Basin almost is in frame. 4 seconds, under 5 seconds, should say. 1 to go in the stage. Here we go. The EPI machine looking to see if he stretches. Already on the clutch. Basin under 4.5 seconds now. Would you believe he was 1.2 seconds quicker? But that's not enough to gain there unless Johnson runs out.
Oh, he's gonna get back to the line if he doesn't run out of gas. At this point, he'll beat Basin too. I mean, he's using all the time. You got so much time on your side, Cody.
And don't forget, not only does he have to make sure he can make it to the end of this lap, but also the pace laps to then get to pit road so he doesn't lose the spots. Here we go. Coming up out of turn 4. Cody Johnson still lets it roll. The 08 machine of Cody Johnson's made part-time starts this season. He gets stage 2 at the Brickyard and gets it by under 3 seconds. Dylan Basin second, followed by Delaney, Conklin, and then Benefield will separate out. Giglio stays in front of Hutchinson and Galata. Lucas Hoytsma ninth. They threw the caution now as Tower Hunter rounds out the top 10. EPI has 2 drivers at the stage points. Here's a look at the order here in this one. 16-second difference on the racetrack, Kirk. Interesting stage number 2.
Yeah, great call. Cody Johnson doing what he had to do to be up front, win the stage, pull a strategy, and it just worked out. Very, very smart decision.
Cody Johnson's already been told just try and make sure you get around. You have race control here in the series tonight. Trying to keep an eye and making sure there's no issues. to make it all the way around for the pit stop. But remember, they still have to think about, are they going to get the pace speed here? Because Johnson is really letting it coast here. This is similar to the Coke Series now.
Well, the thing is, as long as that car behind him doesn't pass him, we're good. Oh, there he goes. Of course he does.
I mean, I don't know about that. You would think this will switch back once they reach the pace car because it's right there. This isn't a situation where they have to catch up to the front straightaway. And as expected, Cody Johnson just lets it coast and gets his spot back.
Thank goodness.
We do not want what happened
that
last
never
time.
to happen again. That was a horrible thing.
We will not talk about what happened that day at the Brickyard. But right now, this is the gamble Cody kind of needed to get a bit of track position. He was in the back much of the day. If his car's fast enough to keep up front after this, this is going to be very big. I don't know how much fuel is going to be in the car, though.
I think Bobby Anderson will stay out, but I think he's already he might be a lap down. We'll have to find out. Oh, he might be out.
I think he's out. He's out in the pit lane. This is disaster now. There goes the spots. He needed less than extra 10, 15 seconds. Everybody will pass him.
He'll make it to his box, but he ain't going to keep the lead.
I don't know if he's going to even make it to the box. He's got to roll. He's trying to stop at Isaacs' box. And he's had the tow.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. You gamble on the call and don't have it pay off. He just needed an extra 20 seconds of fuel. He didn't have that. So you do all that saving, you win the stage, and then you don't get the payoff to try and win the race, Kirk.
Wow. I mean, that is phenomenal. That is so unfortunate for him and his team. Gosh, hate to see that happen.
All that's well, Bobby Anderson does get to lead from that, so he's the one who gets all of this. Caution is out. Stage 3 will continue after this for the Brickyard 400.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage. We're coming up to 56 to go in the Brickyard 400 to start stage 3 with green flag running, should say. Justin Prince alongside Kirk Mills. Morgan Cook as our producer here on Maconi Entertainment. Bobby Anderson, Sean Conklin, Dylan Basin, Jonathan Delaney are the top 4 with Benefiel and Galata up in the top 6. This is going to get interesting now, especially after Cody Johnson's situation. You still have the 5 that rolled the dice to get up front.
I thought that was a really great decision for him because, like, of course, he's trying to make sure he can make the chase here at the end of the year. He needs to have all the points he can grab, and he's right around the cut line. So if he's going to be able to do that, he's going to need to have as many points on his side, and he's going to have a great restart position to be able to get more of those if he's able to maintain track position.
So here comes the pace car, and look at that. Conklin is up to second for the restart. He had a bit of a quicker stop than his teammate Dylan Basin. Everyone zooms. We're back underway. And all of a sudden, the 5 and 17 look to see what happens up at the front. Here comes the 06. Here we go. Basin trying to pull back Conklin.
Teammates side by side. Either car's able to pull away, but how long is that going to last? Those 2 cars behind him has been the class of the whole field all season long.
Here we go. The run for the 5 down to the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, he missed the bottom. Foley, though, didn't get really down there for the curb. Basin into the fender. Moves Anderson up the circuit. The boss man says we're good, as Dylan Basin takes the race lead by force.
Yeah, he had the speed. He's going to get around him eventually. He didn't really wreck him or nothing. He just gave him a little shot racing. He did what he had to do.
He really wanted that race lead, all right, and he got it. Oh, Anderson continuing to knock the wall down in the 5, by the way.
He hasn't had top 10 speed all day long, that 5 car. He's had, track position, but now he's got to be able to, keep the car up the pace too. That's the hard part.
That I agree with. And you can see he's not rotating. Gallardo up on the 3rd and 4th groove, nearly knocked the wall down too. Dyson did knock the wall down behind. Everybody trying to make quick work of the 5. Gallardo will have to push Bobby and get in front of Benefield. Barely did. By the way, in-season challenge drivers, Benefield and Hutchinson are now bumper to bumper for $250. Here comes Hutchinson on the outside. Couldn't get there.
He's there. He tried to get there. He did all he could. He almost hit the wall trying to do that. This is the closest we've seen those 2 all day long.
Right now, they're all trying to get their way around Anderson and Gallardo, who's struggling to clear. Delaney's already pulled a near second on them as a result. So what do you do to make this pass? Look at Pearson. He's out of the groove too.
He's able to maintain it, not hit the wall. That's hard to do, especially here in Indy. Once you get up to that 3rd lane, it's almost guaranteed you're going to hit the wall unless you really check up big time.
Yeah, a little bit almost zealous when it comes to the diciness right now with some of the drivers. All that's to say, Giglio's is also trying to make some moves back there. Bobby Anderson stays stable, and now Hutchinson will have to find a way to get around the 5 quick. He just knocked the wall down 2 in the 19 car.
Not gonna help his cause.
So at this point, 52 to go. We know it's a one-stopper from here, Kirk. What's kind of your game plan here? Put your Kirk face on. What's kind of going through your mind if you're a driver?
I'll be honest. From my mindset, if I'm in a race, say if I'm Jonathan Delaney or Conklin, I'm probably going to run this thing as long as I possibly can, or wait until Basin pits and go when he does. Because no matter what, if you go when Basin goes, you're probably not going to beat him, but you might be able to, finish pretty dang well. But if you are Basin, you're kind of like in a point where going long probably seems a little bit better than going short. But you don't want to have happen what we saw happen earlier. You got to have this thing go green to benefit Basin most. But if we see any sort of contact, any sort of caution, like these guys back here, the 41, the 26, the 8 car Giglio, these guys racing really hard around each other. if any mistake occurs back here, or if you're a driver like that, then that opens the door for more strategies. But if your guys are back here, you got to pit early. That's my mindset. If you're in the back 20s, pit early, get tires, take advantage of that time gain, and do it as fast as you can. And just go hard as you can the entire time. But that's not necessarily going to win the race either. It'll probably benefit you a little bit, but it won't get you a win. So it's going to be hard to win back here if you're someone like, oh gosh, Cameron Stone there got a little loose with the 12 or 71. I think the winner of this race right now is currently sitting in the top 10 somewhere.
Yeah, this is where one of those races, after all, we've seen track position be king in history. It almost looks like it's going to rain with the way things are looking, but it's not going to do that, obviously, in the sim. It's going to impact that track temp even more. It's now below 100 just about Fahrenheit track-wise. It is 100, in fact, currently, but that's going to change in a moment.
You know, that track temp, I think, really makes a difference. In my book, I say it needs to be 147 all the time. Make that thing loose. Make it difficult to handle. But not tonight. Nope, these things are getting the sticker tire treatment. So, good for them, but rough on racing.
All that's to say, the others as they go about. One of those that you see battle-wise. The 71 kind of slipped back here to 16th. Again, getting physical for a pass.
Yeah, something about Trules, he's real aggressive. I always say that about him. He's a good man. He's fun. He's a good guy to hang out with. But I tell you, he gets aggressive quite a bit. And look at that. Madeiros way out of the groove. 20 car way up there in the third lane. Had to check up big time. Losing a little bit of spots. More cars hitting the wall. But you can see the speed of these cars just seem to be getting faster as the race has gone on.
That long run speed, it's not too much difference between car to car these days in a series like this, but it is where if you're good on approach for the tires, rise to the occasion. Here you see the battle for 10. Murray quietly has been able to claw his way up here, but Tyler Hunter wants that top 10 back also.
It's so hard to make the pass on the bottom, especially early in the run. You can get the nose down there and you can side draft all day long, but as long as you're not making contact, the outside car, if he's able to get a good run, it's going to be impossible to get him by. And it's just early run is so much easier to get the outside line to defend or run so much better. So at this point, what we saw up front with the 5 car, remember 5 car started up in first place. He was fast. He is in good position. But look at where he's at now. He's right now sitting P8, lost a bunch of spots, but guess what? This is 10 times better than what he was running before he pulled the strategy. He was nowhere near the top 10. And now he is in the top 10, and he's maintaining a good position. So it tells me that what he did was very, very smart for the time being.
Seeing that just tick away time-wise as we've gone around absolutely here. 47 to go. On the bright side, I guess if you're Bobby, you're able to stay up at the front. Right now, this 5 machine up in the top 10. At least he's been able to rebound here, I guess, after so many touches of the wall to start the run of the bowling ball, if you will. But the boss man is now keeping it steady here now that he's got a chance to breathe on track.
Not every day you get a chance to be in a position like him where, you own the series. You legit own it, but not necessarily the best driver in that series either. He's a great man. Bobby Anderson is just somebody who's able to bring back from the dead something that was really miraculous. I go back and look at the history of the 100% Cup Series that they had and the other series, and it was just a phenomenal thing that him and his co-owners were able to do, bring it up and bring this back, because this is fantastic fun all season long. We have had some of the better finishes of the year that I've ever seen on iRacing this year. This track, of course, isn't necessarily the best for racing, to say the least, but with these cars. But I should say these cars. It's not the track, it's the cars. But again, what Bobby was able to do, bring a great group of drivers that has brought in even more talent. Dylan Basin, Sean Conklin, they were not here last year. They're here now because they heard about this racing series and how fun it is. And they have come up here and they are now dominating this series. You go and look at the statistics. They have won almost every type of track and car combo you can imagine in the full-length Cup Challenge. And it's a really talented group over there, what they're doing. And they deserve their Coke rides, and we wish them the best of luck as they continue to do that. And going for a championship here in the full-length Cup Challenge is going to be really cool, too, because that would mean that you are a champion of a series that runs 100% races along with the Cup schedule, and you're able to do it. You could just compete it throughout, and you could, if you had a real car, you might have a shot. That's kind of a cool feeling to have. So thanks to Bobby Anderson for bringing this whole thing back, because it is fantastic, is the point I'm trying to bring up.
And that's why it's become a very strong series for a lot of these competitors to go to, and it's become a staple and kind of brought in some of the big teams and all of sim racing, the big set of providers and technical alliances, no matter how you want to phrase it here, for so many of the others as we've gone on. Gaglio right now having some struggles here in dirty air, I think. Down at 14th right now, just ahead of Hodgson and Trull, who's now trying to get something back for 15th again.
This is the closest the top two have been to each other all day long. I got to mention that. Under second from first to second, but they are teammates running, by definition, identical lap times. Look at that. 7 1,000ths of a second, 4 1,000ths of a second, 6 1,000ths of a second. What is this one going to be? Crossing the line that time. Okay, that was way more difference. But the point being is that it's practically identical lap times. You don't get that hardly ever unless you're running with somebody who you practice with and race with a lot, and Conklin and Basin seem to be like two peas in a pod.
Yep, it feels like usually, from what I've seen, Basin and Conklin are usually lockstep in some of these races. It's kind of gone now to that case again with them. It's 1-2 at least, but they haven't been necessarily fully in control of the race tonight with the way things have shuffled out. It is the type of race tonight where not outside of Basin, not one driver has been able to establish top 5 position, even you could argue, the way things have gone here. You have the race leader up by 8/10 still, but it's taken a lot of effort for Conklin to get here with the qualifying situation. Delaney's been around top 5. Galata was out of the top 10 a few laps ago. Benefiel is one of the few constants out of that top 5 that's been up there along with Basin.
And still remember that whole thing that they're trying to do with the $250, the in-season tournament. There's still nose to tail. You can see them both in your screen right there. Benefiel sitting right at the cusp of the top 5, right there, 5th place. And then you got Hutchinson, 6th place, right behind him. So one bobble, one mistake, one loose corner for Benefiel, and all of a sudden $250 might be in jeopardy. But Benefiel's been in control of that the entire race. He has not even lost a position to Hutchinson at all today. So as long as he's able to maintain that distance, not let the 19 close that gap, I think this $250 might be pretty situated. But you never know with racing. Things can change on a dime.
So really at this point, with 40 to go, with the green light on fuel about to open here for this entire pack in a few moments here, we talked about what you would be doing here at this point. What would, again, if there's still plenty of time to think about this occur, you have to think. At least try and continue the fun factor, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, these guys back here, Nolan Hodgson, the 8 of Giglio, 41 of Dyson, they got to pull something. I mean, they got speed in those cars. We know that they're fast. We know that they can do really, really well if they so choose. but they got to be in the right track position for it. So that tells me they got to go and play the lottery. Like I said last week, you kind of got to find a way to play the lottery. Now, what's the way you can do that here? I can tell you that one way is making sure that you keep the car out of the wall. Dyson accidentally got in the fence big time. He did it again just then, too. But, again, what I'm saying is that I think the drivers will need to choose to do something opposite of whatever the leaders do. Maybe coming down pit road in the next 2 to 3 laps is not a bad idea, because that would be 38 laps to go. You have an extra set of pits if you need to, but you can make it on gas technically from here if you save. But if you don't want to save and you want to go full bore, you can go 38, 39 laps. So probably in the next lap to 5 laps, I would expect to see some of the guys further back choose to try and come down pit road, try to pull a strategy call. But if you're up front, you're pretty much set in stone. You can't really gain or lose unless you really want to pull a big strategy with a larger risk than the guys back here in 11th or 12th.
Seen a couple of the drivers getting a chance to battle for 10th, like Hill. Paul Hill, talked about one of those trying to battle at the back of the group. Now seems to be really established in the run here that we kind of expect. The 26 up to top 10 speed now as the Dent Slayer machine looks to pull away. Meanwhile, behind them, Dyson versus Giglio. You also have this, where Medeiros and Stone are trying to offset for a battle.
I'm thinking about it, and I just would be surprised if we don't see anybody come down pit road in the next 3 laps. I think that would be the opening of the door. So while we're watching these battles on screen, I think these guys got to make that decision on when they're coming down. And the sooner they come down pit road, the sooner they can start gaining. But when we look at the fall off, that's the big deal, because how much are you really going to gain? The last restart we saw, fastest lap out of the 06 was a 50.75. What he's running now is a 51.5. So the fall off is non-existent. Like, not that much at all. Terrible. Never mind. I think at this point, that would be kind of like way too much odds. I think the guys might stay out as long as they can. I don't know. At this point, it's up in the air. You can choose either or. The benefits are there for both sides. Dyson comes down exactly as I was talking about it earlier. Getting the wall, I still thought going down at 37, 38 might be the right choice.
So that will put you about 17 laps away. Will take us to in around 20, 25 laps to go, which is, again, ample amount of time to make up any potential ground. We do have one down pit road, though. It's Dyson. Yep. 41 coming in. So now we'll keep an eye on if there's any other pit calls. Obviously going for the undercut here. That's going to see him be potentially a half a second quicker than a lot of the drivers, because some drivers have not even reached the 1 second fall off range yet. Now our driver just entered pit road. Nolan Hudson is in.
This is their only chance they got. They, like I said, these guys, they were running right around 12th down to 16th in that range. You gotta try something, and that's what they're doing. They're trying something. And the sad truth is that if this track was hotter, like, you know, in the 130s, 140s, then the fall off would be massive, and it might benefit them more. But because the temperature is so low, we're not going to see that. We're not going to see that fall off happen as much as we expect, and that's just not going to benefit the guys who come down early very much as it should. So only time will tell how it does even out, but remember, both those cars, Nolan Hodgson and the 41 of Dyson, come down pit road early. And here comes Hutchinson.
This is a gamble potentially to try and see where things shake up for $250 tonight. A lot of others are coming. That's Murray, Trullo, Duggar, Graves. We're talking in the range of probably 10-second pit stops here with a full tank of gas. So it kind of simplifies the setup part of things here too, possibly.
I'm just happy I was right. Damn, I was worried that nobody would come down in that 5-lap span. Nope, we got quite a bit. I feel pretty happy about that. Good deal. I still got it. I can do that crew chief and stuff a little bit.
Yes, indeed. Still, though, it's going to be important for some of the errors to think about the counterpoint of this. Again, on the adjustments, the leader, as you said, is in. Dylan Basin has come on down now. 24 laps in.
Okay, that changes all of the strategy that you could possibly have with the leader come down early. Oh boy. I think that's actually kind of a smart idea because you kind of got two of the teammates up front. You have one come in early, one go in late, and no matter what, I think one will end up on top. I don't know. They're in a position where they can play that strategy if they want. A lot of these guys are going to be a lap down, but they're going to have to earn it back by chasing down the leader, and the fall off is just not there up front for it to be able to happen, I think.
Might see Conklin coming this time. I believe there was an oof mention after the Basin pit stop, but we'll find out if there's any issues. Matthew David Wood amongst those who's out. There goes Conklin, trying to avoid any bonks this time, and it looks like it's pretty secure in. There's a lot of smoke behind from Joseph Galata, though, on his entry. We have not had a speeding penalty today yet.
Oh, boy. Look at this battle right here. 22. Trying to get a lap back. He's doing all he can. You do not want to be the lucky dog here because he gets stuck in the back. You can never pass again. You want to be the last car on the lead lap. If a caution were to come out, it'd benefit you heavily. So you cannot be the first car one lap down. He's trying to get by him now to get that lap back.
Gonna have to be careful with this, though, with some of the traffic. Murray getting around. Sean O'Brien Jr. just indicated on the radio he'll be one of the next drivers to coming down. Same for Jonathan Delaney. Does Lucas Hoitzma follow him? He's got a gap. Delaney sliding, but makes it. And the 97 of Hoitzma will come down. Brain Pearson with him to take service. All the black flag machines coming down to Garrett. Giglio stays out to take over the lead.
Trying to think of what strategy Giglio might be on here because it worked out for him in stage one whenever he was able to stay out late and then flip it. But you can't flip this. So I'm trying to understand where the benefit comes in from staying out. Maybe a caution being properly timed could help him. But other than that, I don't see how this is going to help him out very much.
Yeah, we've seen how that worked out for the 8 earlier today, where they ended up in the 20s after pit stops. There's an opportunity here. You have to wonder, do you gamble on 2? I don't know how the left side tire wear's been tonight, though, Kurt. That's the thing.
Well, earlier in the night, I'd say heck no, but now that the weather is the way it is and the tires aren't wearing as bad as you'd expect, maybe 2 tires might have something to do with it. Maybe that's a way you can gain a bunch of spots. So, I mean, like I said, playing the lottery, pulling some sort of strategy that is not based. So we'll have to see how it goes.
And that's the thing. Nobody's taken the call on 2 that, from what I've noticed here tonight, to actually get a sample of what the 2-tire speed would be for some of the cars. So there's so much in terms of that grasp of things that if anyone was to try it, could be something for the end of the race, and a lot of people probably going to have to make some massive swings to the chassis. Still, though, it's going to require seeing how things go in about 12 laps or so with the latest. Williams amongst those curling down, as you see. A lot of the others working their way through turn 2. This is Pearson versus Hunter. Williams already off and away.
Got to give some credit where credit's due. Joseph Galata just ran the fast lap of the race just a little bit ago. P7, currently net P3. Good job for him. I mean, he's in a position as long as if a caution were to come out, he might have something to say to these top 2. I'm not sure, but he had a fast lap of the race just this last time by, so 99.
Now, so Galata is flying. Tanner Marti amongst those who will come down this time. See the 5. Holding back Hoitzma for the time being. Remember, Bobby Anderson, a couple lap difference on the tire stint. Bobby is in line for a possible fringe, if not just about inside the top 10, after running in the 20s earlier. Hastings, Madero's also joining Marti.
That's going to lead just Giglio, I think. Isn't that right? With Giglio being the last man standing, When does he come down? I mean, at this point, I'm surprised he's still out there.
Yeah, this is another roll of the dice. So you have your 3 drivers with purple and black stripes. 1, 2, 3 up on your pylon now.
Oh, hang on a minute. 6th and 7th right here. Hutchinson and Benefield. Take a look at this real quick if you guys don't mind. Hutchinson got by Benefield during that pit cycle.
Hutchinson is, for the first time today, ahead of Benefield. How does this stand? Because Benefield looking for $250 if he can get the pass back of the 19. He's been up in front of him all day. He's trying to get the run. Hutchinson's tight.
Oh, man, that's cool. I mean, you know, you play this in-season tournament just for fun here and, you know, go through all these people, and it comes down to the final race, and they're nose to tail with 28 to go. Are you kidding me? You could not ask for a better finish.
And now Benefield look to try and search for clean air. You can see he's already poking out the headlight. He's a little bit lower, but not low enough for the rumble strips. Hutchinson's looking a bit tight, actually, wouldn't you say, Kirk?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Hutchinson, he missed the bottom in that last corner we saw that. And when you miss the bottom, you get tight naturally. So watch how this works here. You don't want to let the car behind you get anywhere below you, because that just negates the whole dirty air thing. If you can get down in front of them, then that creates dirty air wake for the car behind, and it's going to make them difficult to get any runs. But that 83 is just so good at running the bottom. I've said it all year long. He's one of the best bottom runners I've ever seen. And he's able to get to the back bumper, and he's just waiting for the right time to be able to make his move. 19's one mistake, and it's over.
Gonna have to make sure, keep it clean here, absolutely. Benefield, about equal still with that 2-lap undercut difference to take over the spot. Medina, who's still running, by the way, has picked up himself to 30th. He's been now called to the pit road. He's about 39 laps of the run, so tail end of the fuel tank for him. Giglio's still stretching up at the front for those curious. Basin is the net leader. If it stays the way it's going, over Conklin.
You know, one thing I'm looking at here is actually how many cars are still in the lead lap. We have 23 cars that are still out there running on the lead lap right now. And it's a little better than I was expecting by the end of this race here there, Justin.
Yeah, this has turned into, for some drivers like Mesnard, a spot where it's still a positive after not putting up the best of qualifying runs, but you have to find the best runs you can, and the way things have shaken out here tonight. 73 at Mesnard. Thinking about the conversation of those trying to think, are they going to get an opportunity to battle? Last season was a driver of the French postseason competitor. This year it's been a bit more difficult for him in terms of the point side, in terms of the battle for 16.
He's getting passed for a lap here. Giglio going to the inside. That is a pass for positioning. Giglio will lap him. That makes it 22 cars on the lead lap. That 8-car Giglio, he's able to maintain speed better on the long run than I've seen most other cars. I mean, he's faster than a couple cars that had tires. So I think that 8-car might be able to make 2 tires work.
If they try it, is the bold play here, though.
Oh, yeah.
They're only up 24 seconds. Looking right now, still behind them, position. By the way, to add an extra little statistic to that point, Mesnard last season was one of the drivers in the conversation around the 16th spot, with at the time the playoffs still. He's 40th in points this season at this point of the season. Big surprise for the 73 as he gets passed here potentially by Hastings.
He had his best qualifying run ever this year at Michigan. He had the pole. First time we've ever seen that car that high up in a qualifying run. But yeah, you're right. In terms of his performance this season, Mesnard just has not been where we saw him last season. And a lot of it's just bad luck. I've seen him get involved in a couple incidents, several incidents this year that weren't his fault. And it's unfortunate for the 73. I think this year's more of a scratch, and he can just go out there and try to get good finishes, have a good, fun time out there on the racetrack, and that's all that really matters in terms of this sim, is having fun. In 73, doesn't seem to be doing that right now.
Still coming up to 22 to go. Here's a look at the battle again for your in-season challenge crown. They've stayed about the same since we looked before, if not Benefield, maybe a half a car length difference between the last look. Nothing has changed between these two, and right now for Benefield, he's going to have to hope he do something. Look at the time difference. There has not been enough to really do much. It's all been red.
This is surprising. Justin, this is like complete opposite of the entirety of the beginning of this race. That 83 has been so much faster than Ralph Hutchinson all day long. But that pit cycle, something switched. They must have did something to that 19 that just made it launch and go on rails. That thing is able to maintain position. And I know Adam Benefield watches these broadcasts as we're racing, and just to say, man, we're rooting for a good battle here, man. Wishing you the best of luck, but Hutchinson's got you right now.
Yeah, right now Hutchinson's looking a little bit more comfortable than earlier in the run. Still a bit stiff. Benefield's car wiggles a little bit in the turns. In comparison, Sun is now back out on parts of the racetrack, by the way. So with the track temp now below 100, some of that full overcast sky is starting to have some sun peek out. It's still showing fully cloudy on the weather radar.
Yeah, the only place I saw the sun was for a short while in turn 2. Everywhere else is pitch dark, and I gotta say, it does not feel very, race day to me. It feels more like a rainy day.
See how much that current, you see the white line, it's gone down and down and down, slowly but surely. Kind of curious how tomorrow's real life race is going to go here too in comparison. Still going to be 100% on the power bank, but still, if it's anything like this weather-wise, it could turn into an interesting one as well, strategy-wise, to have that compare and contrast that's part of the series to virtual versus reality.
I think you're right, but I do got to mention here, Giglio and Basin, the gap between them has stayed rather consistent. Maybe like a second or two in the course of like 10 laps max, but see, he's not necessarily gaining a lot compared to what we saw in the first time when he was gaining 0.8 of a second. Now he's only gaining 3. So I think that Giglio's still going to have to come down pit road. Here he is. He's going down now. This is the time.
Here we go. What does he do strategy-wise? He was up by about 21 seconds or so for the cone. Basin's already in 3 and 4. I don't know if that's going to be enough, though, to actually jump up ahead of anybody for the lead. But it's going to get interesting for Recycles position-wise. With under 20 to go, 8 takes the pit call in. We take 4 or 2. Already Basin net race leader regardless. Giglio is taking 4, so he's not going to take the gamble on 2 tires for track position. He's taking a full set.
Well, that pretty much does it in, folks. The only way that we can see anything change is really a caution. But the closest battle, I think that's the most significant battle, too, is going to be Hutchinson and Benefield. Sorry, I hate to say it, but that's the only 2 people here that are close enough to where, like, their pass will actually matter. 26 right here, though. Paul Hill trying to get up to 9th. He slid that car sideways, side by side with Alex Murray. This is for the 9th place spot.
Yep, you see them, how they're going. Right now, Murray plugging away, as we talked about, has been able to run 10th a couple times here tonight. Paul Hill, though, already taking that spot ahead of Murray for 9th. Passed by Murray this time by. Keep in mind, 2 lap pressure tires with the 26 is going to help him a little bit too.
I'm trying to see exactly how it looks like it all cycled out. Giglio, who was the leader for a while, 21 seconds to the good. is now P17, 21 seconds behind.
Yeah, that's a little bit further back than where he was running before, to put it that way. But now, here's the thing. He's going to have the chance to fly to at least pick up a couple of the spots with upwards of near a second quicker lap times. But you do the math, depending on the fall off, might still have a chance at the top 10, but he's going to have to be perfect.
Oh, yeah, he's going to need a lot of help to get that top 10. That's the sad truth of the matter. He's going to need a lot of help. Rough spot to try and gain back all that time. And 10th is already 15 seconds, so he's got to gain a lot. 17 laps to go. He's getting to the back bumper to the 71, going to make a shot down to the inside. He's going to make that pass look a little bit easier, I think. No. He's going to be side by side with him, side drafting down the back. Door banging.
A little bit of contact again involving the 71. Oh, he's a little bit close to the fender. Try to pull him back even more so, and we'll still get the run at the corner. That's for 16th. Coming to 16 to go. Good corner exit for him. By the way, here's the cycle of how things have gone in the top 5. Dylan Basin over Sean Conklin is 1.6 seconds. Joseph Galata near 5 seconds back, and the leader is in third, followed by Jonathan Delaney. They are close to each other for third spot currently. Galata on the rise to close the race. Hutchinson still ahead of Benefield by almost a full second now. The 19 needs to keep it clean for their 15 laps. Bobby Anderson in range for a good point stay over Lucas Hoitzma. And then Paul Hill and Alex Murray, we talked about their battle a moment ago. The top 10, Hill is almost a full second away already. Noah Hodgson, though, has a chance to potentially rip away 11, the 10th spot here in the next few laps.
Big surprise for the top 10 today. Definitely Bobby Anderson. Great job to be able to pull the thing he pulled, to make it happen. He ended up having to come back down pit road right at the end. He didn't have enough gas. The other guy who did it with him ran out of gas on pit road. He's out of the race. But for him, 5, he had to come down. He gave up on it. Didn't get any stage points. But if it finishes out the way it does, his move would have been the right one. So what an absolute great day for Bobby Anderson if he's able to continue this for 15 more laps.
It's getting a little bit more and more nervous for some of the drivers to make sure they get to the end of this race without any problems. Seeing some of the others as they go to the corner. Duggar. We haven't mentioned Duggar really all race tonight at the Ryco Camp. One of the start of the season with the Bain Room with the Super Speedway. It's been about a top 15 or so driver throughout the season. Pretty solid day again for the 10.
Absolutely right for Duggar. Top 15. I think the real thing that we got to know about Duggar is that he's always, never loud. Is the way I like to put it. He's never somebody who, when you see in the top 5, he pops out at you. Kind of sneaks up on you. But today, just middle of the road day, not a bad one for him. The driver I think who was really the most impressive outside of Conklin really is going to be Paul Hill, actually. P9. He started from the pits. He had to go all the way from the back. If he gets the top 10 today, that I consider that an absolute win. I mean, so good for him to be able to start from the pits, still end up in the top 10. He must feel pretty dang good about that if he's able to continue that. As up in front of them, battle, Lucas Hoitzma has caught the back bumper of Bobby Anderson.
Yeah, there we go again for the 97. Get around the 5, down the back straightaway here. Once those a part of a big spread, upwards of 20 seconds amongst the top 15. Anderson still using the bottom to defend. Hoyt's trying to build a run by using some arcs here.
Hoitzma is definitely quicker than the 5, but I don't know whether or not he wants to actually try and pass the 5. I'm sure he does as a racer and competitor, but I don't know. I think that 97 is going to try something when he can, but He's not going to race the 5 dirty. Those two cars really, there's a lot of respect between those two guys, and I don't expect anything rough out of these two.
Yeah, it should be relatively respectful amongst these drivers here from here on out. You have to think with the way the gaps have formed up here today, there hasn't been really that uber bold move. It's been all the cautions that we have had today, the incident ones at least, came from mistakes or single car originally that eventually collected their cars. So there's been overall really clean racing tonight for the Brickyard in what has trended to be a very green type of night.
That's really the goal, is just to have a good time, keep it clean, green, and the drivers are running a driver's race. But in terms of the entertainment value, you know, it just depends on what you enjoy watching. And what we see right here is strategy race. Not so much of a carnage, chaos. It's not Bristol, all right? It is not Martinsville. This is exactly what Indianapolis produces. It's not about the wrecks, it's not about the beating and banging 100%. It's about the strategy that the drivers pull to be able to end up in the top positions. And right now, Basin, who has been just dominant all day long, leading this race. The guy has led almost every lap. I would be surprised. The thing is that the only reason he didn't lead every lap is because stages exist. People decided to try different strategies, and that's how they got laps led. But in terms of speed, if you look at it, nobody has been close to Basin. Maybe identical lap times from Conklin, but in terms of close on-track battling, nobody can touch Basin.
Under 10 laps to go in this one. Things remaining the same for the in-season challenge. Bobby Anderson, arrow taken off the 5. Lucas Hoitzma tries on the outside. Just got too close to bumper Kirk.
Well, I figured that was good save in the 5 to avoid having his car absolutely obliterated, but the 97 was able to get by, move up to 7th. Good day for him, continuing to go good. And just in front of these two, we've got to reiterate, Hutchinson and Benefield. The battle for $250. That is the distance, less than half a second. If that 83 can close the gap, somehow get by the 19, $250 is in his pocket. But that 19, who has been behind the 83 all day long, finally gets by on a pit strategy. And I got to tell you, if he's able to hold on for 9 more laps, he must feel like absolute gold.
And right now, Hutchinson continuing to keep the distance. Last time by Benefield started to get a little bit faster, at least on the lap time. The average still going the way of Benefield over the past 5. You see it slowly going back his way, or was slower actually. Now they got within a half second again. Benefield's going to need a caution if he wants to try and get $250 here. Remember, had good success last night with the O'Reilly car in FNL, but tonight has had speed here at the Brickyard. Just ended up with this coming down to pit strategy, having things equalize out with the 19 in a big way that could cost him on the money sheet.
Based on what I could see in the visual eye test, I'd say that gap's getting not much change at all, really. I don't see that. Both drivers are kind of running their own pace. Yeah, one driver might be faster in one corner or the other, but it's too close. You got 7 laps and 5 tenths. You need to be gaining at least a 10th lap to be able to actually make that pass work, and we're not seeing that right now.
It's going to require a big mistake here for the 19. And I don't think that's coming into play here with 7 to go here. Been able to keep things steady. By the way, the race lead, remember how it was slowly creeping in under a second and a half? That has gone up to over 2 seconds. You see 14th, Giglio continuing to try and plug away spots. It took him this long just to get to 14th.
that just shows how hard it is to pass. Unfortunately, with the weather the way it is, there's a lot of factors to go into this, but the weather not being hot, the track not being hot means not much tire fall off compared to the beginning of the race when we saw a hot track. Tire fall off was big. So it's kind of touchy. It reminds me of that, how the tires reacted at Bristol. Here comes the 48 to the inside of the 41, though. Tyler Hunter, what a day for him. Top 15, 13th right now, trying to go for it, trying to get by Dyson. Great day for him if he's able to close it out. But what I was saying is, like, it reminds me of the tires that we saw at Bristol, that one race where Denny Hamlin said somebody took a piss in the tire combination, whatever it was. And that's what screwed up the tires, right? In the compound. But then the next race we go back for the night race, it was just nobody could pass anybody. No tire fall off really existed, and it was rough. And so I think weather dependent is a really big deal here with the 110 horsepower at Indianapolis. We can tell that for a fact now. It's weather dependent.
Been very sensitive here tonight, but with under 5 laps to go, some of the other battles look to see who gets the final points conclusions here. Giglio now looking for 13. Dyson a moment there. Now under attack by Duggar. That 41 may be hurt under the hood at least, or to the chassis from a hit like that. But the 8 in the battle up the road, still closing up to Hunter. Now was on his back bumper, taking a peek. Hunter letting him take the poke. Keeping it door to door, bouncing off each other. It's maybe the highest the 8 gets here from the rest of the point onward. Hunter not making it easy on Giglio. Nearly on the curb, in fact, was.
Yeah, he's trying all he can to get by him. That 8 car's got the fresher tires. We know that for a fact. 48, though, is able to maintain the outside line momentum. Heading down the back straightaway again. Still side by side drafting, going from the 8 car Giglio. The door banging. They actually hit each other pretty hard there down the back. Heading into turn 3. And I think Giglio's going to get it here.
There it is. He's able to jump up to 13. Take away the spot. Giglio will now take that position. Murray, we talked about trying to hold on to a top 10. Look at the pressure building behind him. Noah Hodgson trying to find a way to get around the 22. Under 3 to go. Murray right now, his speed, 15.19. Same for Hodgson. Not too big differences between these two late.
Not at all. And, you know, it's just a rough day for those guys. Unfortunately for them, they won't be having top 10s. But racing for 11th, just trying to get this race done and over with, I think, for both of those cars. Again, got to give this more attention and seeing Ralph Hutchinson and Benefield. That exact thing. It's just how much money is on the line here in just 2 laps. 19 cannot make a mistake.
Benefield on the radio said good win for the in-season challenge a few laps ago. That's kind of the confidence level of Benefield if it stays green here. They have less than a lap and a half to go, though, because already Dylan Basin is coming through 3 and 4. Take the white flag this upcoming time by, trying to take his 4th win on the season. And this would be a big makeup for him compared to last night. Meanwhile, Galata getting loose, trying to hold off Delaney for the podium.
Oh boy, good podium finish on the boards right here, folks. Basin and Conklin's pretty much set in stone, but it's Joseph, Galata, and Delaney, nose to tail. This is going to be the battle for 3rd.
One of the close battles on the racetrack late in this one. Galata trying to hold off Delaney's run. Delaney's got a big boost off the corner with the exit. Delaney on the outside, Galata on the inside. Closest battle up in the order. Delaney trying to make the pass. Still fighting hard, still scraping for 3rd. All this as well. The Ryko / RFK machines will come out of the final corner. after running out of fuel and hitting the wall yesterday with a chance to win that Brickyard, he gets this one. The FLCC Brickyard 400 is doing Basins. Delaney does get third over Galata in that intense battle, with Conklin in second. Murray trying to hold on to 10th. They scrape, they bump. Drag race. Murray bumps, goes through Hodgson to get 10th. And the in-season challenge will go the way of the 19. Meanwhile, $250 richer is Ralph Hutchinson.
You must feel pretty happy, don't you think, Justin? Wouldn't you like to get $200, $250 check just for, I mean, it was amazing. He got very lucky. He's doing burnouts. He's so happy. He didn't even win a race. He's doing burnouts. That's awesome for him.
He's able to get through all the bracket rounds to make it to the top step here. Nicely done, to say the least, for car 19. But even more so for the race winner, the 06 of Dylan Basin. Somebody forgot to send the memo, I think, to Basin because he's burning it out on top of the bricks. And the way Quaffle did earlier today, it happens, but tradition says you don't touch the brick. Regardless, as Basin burns himself all the way up to the restart zone, he beat Conklin Delaney for the podium. Galata and Hutchinson in the top 5. Benefield, Hoytsma, followed by Anderson, Hill, and Murray, the top 10.
Nolan Hodgson gets 11th, Neil Pearson 12th, 13th will be Tyler Hunter, Blake Giglio 14th, 15th will be Andrew Dyson, 16th Alan Duggar, 17th will be Hunter Truel, Casey Graves comes home 18th, 19th will be Nicholas Isaacs, and then finally 20th will be Sean O'Brien Jr.
21st goes the way of Devin Medeiros, followed by Brandon Hastings and Corey Moore. Others on the lead lap include Stone, Mesnard, and Owens. 1 lap down for Tanner Marty tonight. Timothy Harper finished 2 laps down along with Jose Medina. Stephen Williams down 30th.
31st, Thomas Kumacheski. Matthew David Wood comes home 32nd. 33rd, Cody B. Johnson. Robert Miller, 34th. 35th, Alex Coffey. And final finisher is Jedi Taylor, finishing 36th.
That's a look top to bottom at your running order again here this evening. As Dylan Basin, we spoke to him about the strategy earlier tonight. Had the speed all throughout, 94 laps led. Dylan Basin gets his 4th win of the season. Dylan, how do you feel about getting yourself a crown jewel tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to say this right here. We need 110% power more often because that was a lot of fun. The car felt more natural and everything, and just the throttle control and stuff fit me so well. So it was just, that was a pretty fun time running in clean air for 160 laps basically, but I feel like I ran that race as perfect as I could and couldn't be happier.
Yeah, what was it about the setup balance overall tonight that gave you the edge, you feel? Because you and Conklin all throughout the week have kind of, at least in the broadcasted ones, seem to have been 1-2 in a lot of cases.
Yeah, our balance was just so dang good. Like, you turn into the corner and you could feel the nose, especially with his power. I feel like I felt the nose more. It's like I had a lot of front end feel, and come up the corner, the rear end just stuck most of the time. It's like I feel like I always knew what the car was doing, and in the next gen, that's a rarity in some cases. This thing's just kind of all over the place, but yeah, like they were just so hooked up. Like I felt like I was running qualifying laps every lap of a stint.
Well, next time out, there's actually a break for the first time in a long while in the schedule. It's a break on August the 1st. We come back on the 8th, the Iowa Speedway, hosting the Sports 350. Your favorite sports on the car next time.
Favorite sports, huh?
It's sports with exclamation point in full capitals. You have to go sports.
I'm gonna hold off on that for now. I'm out of energy after this race.
All right, anyone you want to thank for the run tonight?
Obviously, all the guys at RFK Racing and Record Performance. I'm glad to be representing such two incredible teams, I should say, and putting together some good cars. thanks to my family for watching. Thanks to you guys for hopping in the broadcast booth and, giving us a chance to watch it back. Thanks to the league owners for putting us on every week.
Congratulations on the win tonight, Dylan.
Yep, thank you.
Dylan Basin coming away with the win tonight. Continue to run through how things look with your top three. Amongst those up in the order, Sean Conklin went from the back after a spin in qualifying to the front. Couldn't replicate the NIS Brickyard 400, but it's a team 1-2. He's with Kirk.
John Conklin, got to say right off the bat, man, you had yourself a crawl from the back to the front after getting spun out there in the qualifying run. Did you think it'd be as easy as it was, or was it too difficult, or what'd you think about that little run from the back to the front in that first stage?
It was easier than I thought in the first stage, but that's when we had sun on the racetrack. I mean, when these clouds rolled in, it was just a completely different race. So I don't know, it was kind of unfortunate. I felt like my car in particular, just the way that I was driving, it was a lot better when the sun was on the track. Felt like I could maneuver a lot better and keep the tires on it better. But yeah, it was pretty fun coming from the back. The extra power caught me off guard in qualifying. I didn't run any laps until then, so that was kind of self-inflicted there, messing up my qualifying. But we battled back. It was pretty fun, gaining plus 30 spots in one stage, and yeah, I had a good time overall. Congrats, Spacin. I mean, even if I would have had something for him, he dominated the whole race anyway. So I mean, he kind of deserved it, even if. We could have had something there at the end, which I don't think we did. I tried all I could, saved the tires, but wound up burning them off, and he drove away.
Don't sell yourself short, though. You and him both were about pretty much on the same caliber. We checked your lap times at one point in the race, and you guys were running 1/1000th of a second difference between each other. Just almost near identical lap times. It was amazing to watch. And I got to ask you, man, anybody you want to shout out after getting P2 tonight? And you're right, very weather dependent based on how much tire fall off it was. And I also want to ask, did you think that the Brickyard 400, the official one, how did that compare to this one tonight, in your opinion?
In terms of track conditions, I think the official Brickyard 400 was better, but in terms of cautions, I mean, it's 11:12 right now. The official one ran about an hour longer, so it's a lot of very enjoyable just to finish this early, and I gotta get up at like 5:30 in the morning tomorrow. So this is great for me. I can actually get to bed and get like 6 hours of sleep or something. So yeah, pretty excited about that. Just want to shout out Ryko Performance, RFK. I didn't get to run much earlier in the week. I wish I did though, because the setup is an absolute ripper. It's one of the best we've had in a long time, and we haven't really been able to pull away from fields since Darlington. So this was a big refresher, just being able to be so fast that it can just be between me and Basin. And yeah, that's about it.
Congratulations on the win, on second place rather, and congrats to your team on doing so dang good this week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Justin.
That was Conklin coming away in the second position. Jonathan Delaney came home with a podium run here tonight with a good battle with Joseph Galata. How would you describe that fight, Jonathan?
Oh yeah, that was came down to the wire last minute. Gelato was starting to really die there loose those last couple laps, and you get within 7/10 of somebody and you're stuck. Like you cannot do anything really. I was stuck behind him for the entire run. Like he was stuck behind me 9, 8/10, 7/10 the run before. Like it's almost impossible to get around somebody without the person getting loose or getting tight or not handling well. It's insanely hard to pass, dirty air. But yeah, he started dying real bad there the last run, and we were able to take advantage of it and pass him there last lap going into 3. And yeah, I'm happy with the P3. I had nothing really for Dylan or Sean. Those guys were really fast, so I'm happy with P3. Um, I know we were once the clouds came over the racetrack after the sun went away. It was you were driving a slot car all race. There was really nothing to it. You were driving 110% the entire run, just making sure you weren't overheating the right front or the right rear. Took all the fun out of it, but yeah, we do this every week and complain about it, and we complain about it all the time and all that, but we still race every week and still find some type of enjoyment out of it. So yeah.
You mentioned some of the difficulties right there when it came to the pass side of things. How would you describe the energy levels? It sounds like you're burnt out from the racing action too.
Yeah, this race was very tiring. Like I said, you're going all out the entire run from the lap one. You didn't have to save tires at all. You just had to try and find clean air when you could, whether that be staying as low as you could, entry, center, and exit, or kind of doing like a late apex, high entry, cutting it low, center, off to try and get some sort of clean air. I was really able to get the bottom kind of a shallow entry and get my left sides underneath the white line on the curb. Just little stuff like that to help you out and just help get as much clean air as you can on the nose. And even when you do get behind somebody on a straightaway, you can't really stay tucked behind them and get their draft, or else you just push them away even farther. So, it's little stuff like that you just gotta know and understand how to drive the car, how to drive the track, and it's just stuff like that. Like this track, it being you have two long straightaways, so you could really attack the entry to both turns 1 and turn 3, but then you kind of had to back up the entry for turn 2 and turn 4 to get the run off exit to help get a run on somebody or maintain your speed on the straight. So, it's like little stuff like that you just learn over time, and that's kind of just what really makes guys like Dylan, Sean, Gilad, all those guys really good at stuff like this. It's just the little stuff that really stands out with long runs like this, and tracks like this where everyone's just so close on speed and all that. So yeah.
How do you feel about Iowa next time?
Yeah, Iowa's gonna be interesting. That track is a tire destroyer. So, gonna be saving tires there, complete opposite of what we were doing this week. We're gonna be going from driving 110% to probably driving 50% for half the run. So, yeah, it should be cool. We're actually able to move around a little bit there, so that'll be nice. Yeah, hopefully we can get a good points race there too. So yeah, that's all I got.
Any shout outs though you'd like to give?
Oh yeah, just shout out you guys for broadcasting this. Probably pretty boring race as it was last night. Thank everyone who puts this league together. Shout out to everyone who raced tonight. Shout out Ralph for winning the in-season tournament against Adam. Those two guys. Shout out to both of them for making it that far. Yeah, just shout out to everyone at my team. Black Flag. And Logan Sheets for up in the booth or up in my box for helping make adjustments and help with strategies. So that's all I got. Thank you guys.
Congratulations on the run.
Hey.
Jonathan Delaney cut away the top 3, but last but not certainly least, we talked about the in-season challenge all throughout this one. Kirk, let's take the opportunity. You get the chance, in fact, to catch up with your driver of the in-season bracket. Ralph Hutchinson beats Benefield by 1 position.
Man, you made it a nail biter, Ralph. You got it all the way down to the wire, man. You were running right behind him all day long up until that final pit cycle, and you jumped him. Got to ask you, man, how'd you do it?
I don't know, man. Just wanted it real, real bad at that point. Really appreciate the help from Brandon Pierce. Kept working on the car, kept getting the adjustments right. I was kind of gauging myself to him the whole race. It's like, okay, we're 2/10 off long run. All right, this run we're 1/10 off long run. Okay, we're a lot closer. He's not running away from me now. Maybe we can short pit. So, no, credit to him. Credit to him where it's due. He was keeping me honest there at the end. I had to be absolutely perfect out there in front of him. I think he was probably a tick better. Maybe that's him being more consistent. I don't, in race adjustments, no idea, but kept me honest. It was a good, hard fight. And of course, it would come down to us racing it out properly for the bracket.
Yeah, you know, whenever we look at the bracket challenge, not very often do we get to see them be battles on track. Normally it's like first and like 15th. But tonight, you guys were nose to dang tail. It made it like a movie almost. It was kind of cool. So congratulations on getting $250. Anything you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, man. Thanks to Kim Byron, Ratco Performance for good race cars once again. Strong Strides Equine, and you know, all of you guys over at Maconi Entertainment giving us a platform to race on, and Bobby running the league, Bryson Hickson Baugh, you know, just, you know, it's fun to get to do this Saturday nights. So thanks to everybody.
Wonderful. Well, again, thanks for sitting here and chatting with us a little bit. And what are you going to go spend the $250 on?
I'm in the middle of renovating my garage, actually, so it's I think it's spent already. It's gonna help.
Oh, it's already spent. All right, good deal. Get to pay off that credit card. All right, good deal. Thanks, Ralph. Thanks for chatting with us.
Thank you, Butch. Take care.
Back to you, Justin.
Ralph Hutchinson rounding out the discussions. I'd like to thank the entire top three and our in-season challenge winner for taking the time to speak with us for post-race coverage here at Maconi Entertainment. Kirk, your final thoughts tonight on the Brickyard. As some of the drivers said, it was difficult to make the moves, but in the end, the rocket ships were in control.
We got a taste of some good racing there at the beginning of the race whenever the sun was out. I think that, I mean, this stuff is all ability. We can modify the sim, you know. I think that if we ever were to come back and do this type of thing again, I think some folks would probably set that temperature to stay hot and get hotter as the race goes. I don't know. Just a thought, concept, but altogether, dominant performance from Ryco, guys.
It was an interesting night, but it's time to say goodbye for the Brickyard 400. For my colleague in the booth, and Kirk Mills, for producer and Morgan Cook, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's coverage. We hope to see you next time when we go racing at Iowa Speedway for the Sports 350. Be sure to tune in August the 8th. On that note, good night from Indy.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.